Hello ladies, hello gentlemen. If you're a regular listener to the podcast, then thank you for your continued support. But if you happen to have stumbled onto this podcast for the first time, then it's a massive welcome to you and thanks for joining us. But now it's time for the disclaimer. If you're hoping for in-depth facts and statistics that have been checked and verified, then you've probably come to the wrong place. This is the Big Bad Bike Show where banter comes first. I'm your host, the Big Bad Biker, Sam Macaulay, and joining me tonight is the Up North Biker, Ash Hall. Say hello, Ash.
Hello there.
And MotoGP, Chris Chippy Ballard. Say hello, Chippy.
Hello.
Ash, do you want to reference your little hello there and tell the listeners why you say that? Why you don't just say...
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, he's a massive Star Wars fan. Hello there, as if people know what the fuck you're talking about. Nobody knows anything about...
Everybody knows that.
No.
Everybody knows that.
I didn't know that until I met... I watched a lot of Star Wars growing up, and I didn't know that until I met you. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it was main...
It's in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. He jumps off the balcony, General Grievous is there, and he goes, hello there. Everybody knows that.
Lots of people say lots of things in lots of movies. It doesn't mean that it gets referenced.
And then he says, General Kenobi!
Okay. Editing that, but
if I was a new listener,
folks,
I would have turned off by now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's definitely turned off. So
Well, he ruined it.
It's Sunday. It's almost 9 p.m. or thereabouts. That's right, folks. I said it's a Sunday, so you'll realise we usually record on a Monday or a Tuesday, but this week we're recording on a Sunday because once again, young Chippy couldn't be bothered to get his priorities in order. But don't worry, I'll disrupt all my family's lives, my kids and my wife. I'll disrupt their Sunday night in the good of the podcast. Don't worry, Chippy, I'll do that.
Thank you.
God forbid you had to move a few things around.
Unfortunately, I can't move work around. I kind of have to work around it.
Right, if you're listening on YouTube, then please like, subscribe. You can hit the notification bell too. That way you won't miss a podcast. You won't miss a video because Up North Biker Ash Hall quite often puts videos on there. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcast, then you can leave a comment. You can let us know where you're leaving from, or leaving. You can let us know where you're listening from. You can get in contact with us at podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. I think there may actually be a way on Spotify that you can just write a message as well. And I said it last week, I'll say it this week again, there might be a poll down there. So scroll up, scroll down and see if there's a poll. Once again, Chappie's earphones aren't working because he is a consummate professional.
I was trying to work out how I turn you up.
Coming up on the show, we have the all-new Who Am I, as usual. This week's is...
Mine.
Chippy's, I believe. Oh, you haven't written it on. You put it's a secret.
It's a secret.
We are going to be talking about our reactions to this week's BSB at Thruxton, which was very good. And we'll be doing our predictions for the MotoGP in Austria.
Austria. Is it Red Bull Ring? Is that what it's called in Austria?
Yes.
The Red Bull Ring?
I believe so.
Red Bull Ring.
Quite like Austria.
It's probably my favourite track of the year. Like as a track, it's a very good track, I think.
My favourite track of the year is Circuit of the Americas. I love it. It's class.
Yeah, that is good.
If like some sort of MotoGP ferry come down to me and said, or basically if my wife allowed me to spend the money and said you can go to any MotoGP this year except Silverstone, because I could probably go to it if I want it, I would probably pick Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I think it's probably got the best atmosphere.
Well, to be honest, if it's a little MotoGP ferry coming down, then you know you have to take your opportunity. I could probably go to France, if I really push my luck. I could probably go to France or Germany or Austria, really. But if the little ferry comes down, you got to push your luck. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm pushing my luck. That's right. I'm taking my ass to America. I'm going over there, watch some bikes, shoot some guns, whatever else to do. Ride a Harley Davidson. That's what's coming up on the show. Let's just get into it. So usually we have a catch up at this point. Does anybody have anything to say? Usually, because we only recorded it a few days ago and now we're recording on Sunday. I'll be honest, I'll go first. I have done nothing in the past couple of days. My kids are in summer holidays, so I'm just being dad, going to the park, coming home, looking at the clock, wondering how soon is too soon for me to start drinking before I have to consider myself an alcoholic. It's getting earlier and earlier. It's like being in lockdown all over again, except this time I have to socialise with people. It's horrible, but that's what I've been up to. Anybody else been doing anything more exciting than me? Obviously, apart from watching bikes and enjoying football, being back on TV.
No, I've done
Chippy?
nothing. I've literally gone back to work. My family's gone home, so I'm back at work, and that's all I've done. Unfortunately, Ash.
Well, as you know, I went back to Yorkshire this week. This week for a funeral, which obviously is never nice, but it was a nice do. It was a nice little send off. I got to watch Leeds play while I was down there, which was great. And at least we won that one.
Shrewsbury.
I know it's only Shrewsbury. I know.
And you only just won it as well.
Say that, though. Yeah, it's all right then. I went to go watch Leeds play, and I also went to the best place for fish and chips in the world, which is Whitby in North Yorkshire. Very lovely. And I also went to where did I go? Oh, I went to a Druid's Temple, which I've never been to before, and it was actually really interesting. I really enjoyed it. And I made some videos which get criticised all the time, because basically what Sam and Chippy do is think, how can we ruin Ash's day in the group chat? And then anything I do, I could do anything. I could even just say, I'm doing this today, and they'll just be like, cool story, bro.
You do exactly the same to us.
Yes.
I went to Pizza Express a few months ago.
No, but you two do it all the time. Like, all the time.
I went to Pizza Express a few weeks ago for my birthday, and I just put a picture of a pizza on it, and you were like, looks crap, for no reason other than just to annoy me.
Because I knew you were at Pizza Express. I don't like
Pizza Express.
Oh, here we go, Pizzagate.
We could have an entire episode.
No, we're not doing Pizzagate again. We aren't doing it.
We're
not doing Pizzagate. No, we're not doing it. And I also went to Gothland, where they film Harry Potter at this train station, and that was really cool as well.
You're such a nerd. You're more of a nerd than Chippy, and Chippy's a nerd.
I wear glasses.
Well, you know I'm a nerd.
What one's a nerd and what one's a geek? Are you a geek, Chippy? And Ash, you're a nerd.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm a nerd. Chippy's a
Doesn't
geek.
a geek know more than a nerd? Isn't a geek more clever?
Yeah, but no, a geek is somebody that's good with computers, and a nerd is just somebody like me.
I'd say
Wars,
that's right.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'll be the geek then.
I'm just comic relief. That's all I am. I was like that at school.
He likes all that nerdy stuff too. He just acts
I don't.
all
I
cool
hate Star Wars.
I like nerdy stuff, but not to the extent that you like it. I like football, but I'm not a hooligan. I like a little bit. I like just enough of everything to be able to involve myself in any conversation. That's it. I like to be the funny guy wherever I'm at. If I'm in a bunch of nerds, I don't want to be standing there thinking, God, I've got nobody to talk to. I'll just talk to these nerds. But then you need to know what they're talking about. Unless they start talking about computer stuff. Oh, here's how you code and format and this and that. Like, whenever you ring up with
that's Chippy. That's a geek.
Yeah, he suddenly needs me on a Monday, though, when he's editing.
When's the last time I've asked you for anything whenever we're editing?
Well, you needed my help earlier with a new font and stuff for the logo.
No, I didn't need your help. It was thrust upon me. Your help was thrust upon me. Ash gave me all these great, insightful ideas. Basically, what he said was, that looks shit. I was like, well, how am I going to improve it? Change the font. Oh, great, I'll just change the font. To what? Do what with it? So anybody that watches YouTube, you'll notice that the past couple of weeks I've been trying to play around with the picture of an idea to give you an idea of what we're talking about on the show. And I've changed it and tweaked it a little bit. Rather than Ash giving me actual, not just criticism and feedback.
I asked to change the font. I just said the font looks shite.
Yeah, and I agree. It does look shit. I'm not good with that sort of stuff. That's what the nerd's for. That's what Chippy's here for. And then Chippy's
I was just giving you my feedback. That's all I was doing.
Yeah. Somebody outside the show giving feedback's fine, but you're in the show. Don't just give feedback.
I know.
Don't just come with problems. Give me solutions too. I've seen this. I think that was a good idea. However, here's how you could improve it. No,
How difficult is it to write a sentence in a nice font?
Well, obviously quite difficult because I don't know how to do it. What is a nice font? Comic Sans? That's
No.
the only font I know of. That is the only font I know off the top of my head. The only font I could say.
Right, we are really
We haven't even got into
digressing
the
here.
bike
And we haven't
shit,
even
yeah.
started to the bikes.
I know, but I could go further.
Everyone's turned off.
Any new listeners have now turned it off, and that's not a bike podcast.
They're probably, someone will maybe like stubbornly listen to it thinking, when the fuck are they going to talk about bikes? Now we're going to talk about bikes. Right, first part of the show is the Who Am I? This is the first bike related thing. Right, so Who Am I? So Who Am I is a little segment where we pick somebody from the racing world, we give you some little clues, and you guess who it is. And if you want, you can get involved. You can send us an email at podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk, but why would you? No other fucker does, so you don't either. But, the opportunity is there for you to do it. So last week, the clues were...
I was born in Alanya in 1996. I competed in the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup in 2013 and 2014 and joined the World Superbikes in 2018 riding a Kawasaki ZX-10R. Did anybody guess it?
Yes.
As in, did we get an email or not?
No. Nobody got in contact last week.
Well, the answer was Toprak Razgatlioglu.
Yeah, and sometimes people do get in contact. We do get listeners that email in.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, this week was not. I just realised that we do have a question this week and we've just completely ignored it, but we'll do it after the Who Am I, because it's our podcast, we do what we want. Right, so this week is MotoGP.
Yes.
Chippy, it's your turn to do...
Why do you keep it a
secret? Because you Google it. You Google it and then you're like, oh, I think I know who it is. And then you message me with the right answer. If I just give you the clues now, then you haven't got time to Google it. Anyway, these are the clues.
You had the
first clue.
You had the Google top rack.
No, God, because Ashes, they're too obvious. Like, he just picks, like, Valentino.
Well, that wasn't, because you guessed it wrong twice. I mean,
it's too obvious. I wouldn't have thought you'd have picked Toprak. I was thinking Turkish rider.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be...
It's so obvious. It's so obvious. It's too obvious, Ash.
Yes.
Well, as usual, everybody, I'm shit. Come on, let's crack on.
Right, well, my first clue is I was born in... I was born in Catalica, Italy, in 1987.
You can't even pronounce it.
No, I don't know how to pronounce that. But I was born in Italy in 1987.
Dumb fuck.
Catalica, something like that.
Right.
Second clue, I won the 250cc World Championship in 2008. And the third and final clue is my father founded a current Moto3 team. That bit should give it away.
Current Moto3.
Before I started watching it properly, so...
2008.
You'll know who this is.
250 2008 champion.
I'm just thinking of Italian riders.
Oh, Italian. I was thinking Spain, but you said Italy. Italian riders.
Born in 1987. Anyway, while you think about that, should we go on to the next bit?
Right. So
I have a feeling I know who he is.
Message me then. Message me privately before I know you.
If you would like to contact us to give us any feedback or ask us any questions, we're going to come on to questions now. But if you would like to contact us or with the answer to the Who Am I, it's podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. We do have a question. We will get into that now.
God, you're so stupid, Ash. No, it's not him.
Right, I'm not... I just give... Oh, do you know what? Fuck you. I'll just give you a guess, you fucking little dweeby, geeky-looking cunt. Fuck off.
You brought out the C-bomb before I did this week. She's
fucking did. I'm sick of his little fucking nerdy, annoying piss fuck face. Fuck you.
I've made him snap.
Ash has a meltdown. I'll put that in the timestamps. Ash has a meltdown 15 minutes in. Right.
He's been just fucking twisting it today, and I genuinely just wanted to like reach for my phone and strangle the shit out of you.
Right, anyway.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Chippy. I'm not going to strangle your son. I do love him, really.
Anyway, your guess is wrong.
Right,
yes, thank you. I realised that.
We had a question from, I assume it's a dude. He's calling himself Jiminy Cricket. Right, so the question is, he says, hey bud, random question. I'm looking to do a CBT and direct access as close to the new year as possible, but I'm going to be buying a Triumph Tiger 800 as my first bike after he does his test. I'm a big guy, 150 kilograms, getting it second hand and going Just offend their fucking the guy at Ratton. Just offend them. He's getting it second
fucking
hand. He's going to slowly start buying gear to do lessons and his tests, etc. He's buying a bike so he can commute to work all year round, from work to home and vice versa. And he doesn't want to be stuck in traffic. He's getting rid of his car. His question is, should he go textile, waterproof or leathers for kit? Where's the best place to start looking for what he should buy first? And should he get helmet, jacket, trousers, gloves, etc.? That's from Jiminy Cricket. I don't think I done a very good job of reading that question out. But basically, Jiminy Cricket, big dude, doing a CBT, doing a test, buying a Tiger 800, wants to know the best place to buy clothes and what clothes he should get or what gear he should get. Ash, you've given a bit of an answer to this. Do you want to go on ahead and then I'll say what I
have. So, first of all, I'll say that is a class choice for a first bike. I really like the Triumph Tigers. Me and Sam have spoke about the Triumph Tigers. Yeah, that's
kind of what I was thinking of getting to first bike.
Yeah. The 800 is a decent choice. Upright seating position, really comfortable, really practical bike with good fuel economy. And then once you've got a feel for it, you could probably push on and get a 1200 if you fancied, or just keep the 800, whatever you fancy doing. I've had a lot of bike gear over the years and had a bit of both in leather and textile. Leather is always going to give you the best protection if you come off. It has armour fitted, the same as textile, and it would take longer to rip through it abrasively on the asphalt if you were to come off. If you were to slide, leather's going to protect you more. If the abrasions of the leather aren't too bad, you can continue using the leathers. My dad's come off his bike numerous times when even racing, and his leathers have still got through scrutiny and stuff like that. Whereas textile, it would tear and you'd need to replace it. Having said that, I prefer textile clothing. It's advanced a lot over the years, gives you a great amount of protection, and you can get fully Gore-Tex and even laminate textile gear now, which will keep your bone dry, even if it's like chucking it down with rain. Even though leathers are great, when they get wet, they tend to shrink, so that's never good. I mean, you can get like Gore-Tex leathers and stuff, but they just aren't good as the textile stuff. The textile stuff's going to keep you out of the elements. You're just going to get there, you're going to be warm, you're going to be dry. So I would probably say textile's best for you, considering you're going to be commuting, you're not going to have a car anymore, so to and from work, you're going to be riding it all year round. A reasonably priced and high quality jacket and trousers I would go for would be the Oxford Mondial Advance range. They can be used all year round, so that's what I would go for. It's got the laminate, so it doesn't saturate into the fabric. The first piece of gear you want to be getting is a helmet, because that's the only piece of gear you actually need legally. You could shove on a bra and thong if you wanted, stick your helmet on and go for a ride. Genuinely, that's all you need. There are plenty of good helmets out there that wouldn't break the bank. I would recommend HJC. They've been around for a long time. They come with the cool little flip down sunglasses, and they do racing and touring and stuff like that. Just go to a bike shop, try stuff on to get the right size, and then have a shop around on the internet. A lot of shops, 9 times out of 10, will just price match because they want to get the business from you. So yeah, hope that's answered your question. Jiminy Cricket.
So I'm in a similar position. I've just done a CBT. I went out, I bought some gear. The way I did it was, I walked into a shop. Yes, I would like the one-piece leather, the really good, cool stuff, or the two-piece leather, and it's really expensive. And then down at the very bottom, you've got the stuff that you can easily afford, but it's a bit shit. So I kind of just went in between the middle, you know what I mean? This is how I thought about it. I'm like, I'm new to biking, and I hate the idea of anything I do, not just biking, but I hate the idea of being that guy that turns up with all the gear, but no idea. And I want to turn up and people to know that guy's novice. I want people to know I'm a novice so that they treat me with, they treat me like a novice, you know what I mean? You don't get yourself into stupid, sticky situations then. So I went with a pair, like you said, Ash, trousers, jeans, where it's been they've got like armour on them, and I've got a pair of Dainese boots, and I've got an Oxford jacket and a helmet. But what I've noticed, especially if you're going to be getting your bike and riding your bike in the winter time, it gets fucking freezing. It gets really, really cold. So I bought myself a little thermal thing. It's like a little onesie that goes on underneath you. When you've got it off, it looks like it's for a 10-year-old, but it stretches around your whole body. Like, it's really, really tight and it's really comfortable. They're not that expensive, but they're like a little thermal onesie. I bought thermal gloves. Get a balaclava as well. Buy a balaclava. You want one of them. I know an Irish guy telling you buy a balaclava sounds a bit funny, but get yourself a balaclava. Put that on. It'll keep your face warm. Thermal gloves keep your hands warm. You know, that's really important. I know you're thinking about what you should wear outside and your helmet and stuff, but you will be freezing, especially in the winter. So get yourself some decent thermals as well.
But if you get Gore-Tex, then he won't need the thermal thing.
Okay, there you go. I don't have Gore-Tex.
Go Gore-Tex.
Go Gore-Tex. That should be the name of the episode. Go Gore-Tex. Go Gore-Tex. Right, there we go. We'll start that. We hope that answered your question, Gemini Craigie. If you've got any follow-up questions, you can get in touch. And hopefully you'll be out biking sooner rather than later. Right.
Yeah, and you've got bigger set of balls than Chippy has with his little laugh.
You're just angry at me because you can't get the Who Am I. Sam's got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Groovy.
It was.
Is that why you two were sniggering while I was going through that?
Yeah, I wasn't sniggering.
Yes, you were. I could see you.
Couldn't hear me though, because I was on mute. At least it wasn't like this.
Yeah, well, it was funny.
You look like the head from Art Attack. Referencing last week whenever we were trying to do the show, and Ash went into an absolute fit of laughter, and his little head was bobbing about side to side like the head from Art Attack. You know that little grey head that bobs about. Hello, I'm the head. Neil Buchanan.
I look even more like the head soon. I'm gonna shave all my hair off again. I think.
Oh, good. I liked you with your head shaved off.
Yeah, I think you look better with a bald head.
I think you definitely look better with your head shaved off.
Keep the beard.
You've got enough hair. You've got enough hair that when you shave your hair, you can see you've had to shave it, so nobody knows exactly how much hair you have. Whereas you do that, you just look like one of them desperate dads trying to hold on to whatever little bit of hair he's got left.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. So
you look better with bald, but keep the beard.
It all off.
Look at my mop.
I'm keeping the beard. If I shave the beard off, I'd look like a massive fat baby.
I have so much hair.
Yeah, well,
no, I've
like
not
Sonic
lost
the
any
Hedgehog.
either.
You don't eat bacon, so you're not cool.
No, I'm cool there.
He's gone grey though.
No.
I'm not that
Yeah,
grey.
yeah.
I'm
You
not
are
that
quite
grey,
grey.
really. Oh, I am. Of course.
Look at your beard, man.
Yeah, my beard. I'm nearly 40. I look like a badger. But yeah, I'm nearly 40, man. Come on. I'd rather go grey than bald. Baldy.
Yeah, I would as well.
Right, so we're going to get on to the news.
Anyway.
Stop fucking saying it anyway and go on with the show. I hate that word.
Well, the
Piss
more you
me
keep
off
talking,
every
the more you're going to have to edit out. I'm trying to leave a gap, but you keep talking in it. Anyway, this is the gap. Gresini Racing has officially announced that Alex Marquez will continue to ride for the team in 2024 MotoGP World Championship. This decision comes hot on the heels of Marquez's thrilling victory in the MotoGP sprint race at Silverstone. What do we make of that?
I wasn't even listening. What did you say?
No, I think...
Right.
I thought that was probably definitely going to happen.
I thought it was
think
a given.
He's happy there
He's
anyway,
happy
isn't
there.
he?
It's only his first
It's
year.
a given.
He's got to win.
He's on a Ducati. He's just won a sprint race. Yeah, I think it's probably a good move for him to stay at.
Good move all
stay at
round.
Ducati.
Yeah, I didn't really think... I know they maybe don't come out and announce everything straight away, but I never really thought at any stage Alex Marquez's ride at Gresini was ever in doubt unless he himself got a better offer. And he's on a Ducati. He's not going to get a better offer than a Ducati.
Yes.
No,
apart from maybe a better
he's not going
Ducati,
to go
but-
to a different manufacturer.
So, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's confirmed. It's news. It needs to be in there.
Yes.
That's it.
That's me justifying Chippy putting it in there because we need to put something in there. 'Cause it's
Well,
not exactly heavy on the news,
Bong.
is it?
Right. the next bit of news. Exciting announcements are in full throttle for Gresini Racing as they gear up for the 2024 MotoGP season. Not only have they secured rider Alex Marquez for the next year, but the Italian outfit has also sealed their future to Ducati for the next 2 seasons, which only leaves their number 2 rider, or their other rider, as the last announcement. And we'll get more into this in silly season, so I won't talk about that now, but that is...
Well, we spoke about that on the last pod as well.
It goes very in-depth, because there wasn't a lot for silly season, so there's quite a lot of in-depth. If you scroll down, you'll see.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I like how whenever you started reading that, you tried to sound excited when you said the word exciting.
ChatGPT put the word exciting in.
Oh, it's so exciting. What's exciting? Gresini are doing exactly the same as they've done the past year. Brilliant. It's exciting stuff.
Excited.
Alex Marquez is still going to be there. Nothing's changed. That's exciting. Yeah. Brilliant.
So many activities. Go on.
Right. Before you mock me, let's move on to the next one. Yamaha have announced that I'll start that again. Yamaha have announced that double world supersport champion Domi Agata will remain in the Yamaha in 2024, but has not announced which team he will be riding for. Do you think he's good enough for Top Rak's ride?
I think he's got the...
I think he's quite good, is Agata.
Yeah, I think he's good.
I think he's got the potential. He's a 2-time world supersport champion.
And he's, apart from Top Rak and Locatelli, is the fastest other Yamaha in the standings at the minute.
Might be a good move for him, yeah. But I would prefer to see Johnny Ray go there.
Well, I did put the next question, are there any other Yamaha riders more deserving of a ride? But I don't think there is. And then could you see somebody coming from another team or another category? Because I was thinking maybe Morbidelli, which is possibly why they've not announced which team Agata's going to. Because
they're maybe still waiting for Morbidelli.
Yeah,
or maybe the rumours about Johnny Ray are not completely true, but maybe there's no smoke without fire. So perhaps Yamaha are just waiting for all their eggs to be in said basket before they start making omelettes. Omelettes being...
I tell you what, they should just stick Jason O'Halloran on it.
Yes.
Because
that'd be quite cool.
He had one good weekend, but apart from that, he's old as balls. He's probably he's probably young, he's probably younger than me, but in motorbike terms, he's old. Right.
Yes, I think he's getting on now, because I was half expecting him to retire when that announcement was made last week about...
You can tell by looking at him.
Yeah, well...
You can tell by looking at him he's
still
getting
got
on
it.
Yes. Let me just Google it.
He's
still 35.
Ride with the young uns.
Yeah, he is younger than me. But he old, Edric.
Yes.
Right.
That's because you are old as dick.
I am quite old, yes. I'm the oldest one in the podcast by some years.
Yes. This last one, I actually wrote myself. I didn't use ChatGPT for this, but I'm going to need your help. I'll just start it. Reigning World Superbike champion Alvaro Bautista is set to re-enter the world of MotoGP as a wildcard entry at the Malaysian Grand Prix in November. He will race on an Aruba liveried version of the latest...
Desmosedici.
That word. GP bike.
Desmosedici, is that what you say?
Yeah, Desmosedici. I think that's it.
Ah.
So
That looks right.
I listened to a couple of interviews today, and I tried to break it down. So it's Desmosedici. That's how they say it, so that's how I'm going to say it. I tried to read it.
I think that's really cool, though, that they're going to do it with the Aruba livery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's well cool. I like that.
Well, that's maybe something to do with Alvaro Bautista. He's maybe got some sort of contractual obligation that he has to ride with that on it because they're sponsors. He's maybe not allowed to ride in anything else.
What do you think could be a successful weekend for him then? What would you consider to be
I personally think,
weekend?
I think if he gets...
Win.
Obviously win, yeah, but I think if he gets in the points, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I know he's raced in MotoGP before. Excuse me. I know he's raced there before. I understand he knows the paddock and blah, blah, blah. But it's been a while since he's raced in MotoGP. Obviously, there'll be now 9 Ducatis.
Yeah, for that race.
On the grid for that race. So if he comes 9th and he's the last Ducati. But to be honest, I reckon he can go out there, and this isn't to try and disrespect anybody, but I reckon he can go out there and beat DG Antonio. I reckon he could.
Yeah. But to be in the points, that would be 15th place, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I think he could get. I think he could get top 10, 15th place to be in the points. I reckon.
The thing is, you look at you look at Danny Pedrosa. Obviously, he wildcarded on the KTM and came 6th. And this will be our first time seeing Bautista on a Ducati in MotoGP. So you never know. He could do.
No, he was on a Ducati before. 2018, he was on a Ducati.
Oh, was he?
MotoGP. Yeah.
Oh.
It's his first time on.
Of course he was, because he had the number. Was he number 19?
Yeah, he's always been number 19.
Number 19.
It's his first time on a inverted commas competitive Ducati, I would say.
Yeah.
He's maybe never always been in the most competitive bike, so it's his first time on the Desmosedici, I think. So that will be that will be in a competitive bike. It'll be interesting to know how he plays it, because I'm thinking back to whenever Johnny Ray. I know this is back in 2006, but this is from reading his book, so I've got an insight to it. But he was filling in for another rider that couldn't make it, and HRC basically said to him, by no means necessary do you crash that bike. You're not here to win races, you're just here to keep the wheels turning. He still managed to get 6th, which was pretty good. I think he got 6th in one of the races, which was pretty good. But Toprak's not coming into it in that way. He's not filling in for anybody. He's there with his own accord. It's kind of like a thank you for doing so well, here's a go. So I will be intrigued as to how he's going to play it, because he's never raced a sprint race in MotoGP before. So is he going to go out and throw balls to the wall in a sprint race and be like, I'm going to go out and this is it's 10 laps, this is my opportunity to go out, win a race? Or is he going to be like, I'll use the sprint race as an opportunity to get more data, get comfortable with the bike, and then go out and have a better feature race? So it'll be good. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm a little bit confused. You just said Toprak.
Oh, I didn't mean Toprak, obviously. I meant
Bautista. I meant Bautista. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I started to think, were you just going completely off topic?
No. I said
just going on to something else.
If I said Toprak, I apologise. I meant Bautista. Obviously, I meant Bautista. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, I'm just wondering how he's going to play it, how he's going to go out and race it. Because
I hope he smashes it and wins.
He should do well though, because Sepang has got them 2 massive straights, hasn't it? So that'll really suit the Ducati.
Yeah.
Like there's ridiculously long straights.
However, other many Ducatis there is as well.
Well, that's why
fast.
That's why there's top 10. You think top 10, but that would put him at the last Ducati if they all say they all finish top 9. Usually the top 5 or 6 is usually got Ducatis well in them. Then you got the KTMs, the Aprilias might do well. I don't know. It's tight. Yeah, I think top 10 would be a really good result.
Yeah, I do.
I think the last time, I know. Once again, I know he was already been in MotoGP and then went into World Superbikes. But I think the last time, as I see it, the motorcycling racing world was this excited for somebody coming from World Superbikes into MotoGP was Ben Spies, back in 2008, 2009 was it? Whenever he came into MotoGP after winning World Superbikes, there was a massive buzz. It was like, oh, what's he going to do? Is he going to take it to Valentino Rossi? And then he just came and did nothing basically. So got injured. I think he got hurt and just kind of ruined his career. But
it's funny because in World Supers, I'd like to see Toprak do well, but when he goes for that wild card, I'll be rooting for Bautista.
Yeah.
I'll be
another thing I was thinking about was, obviously I would like the World Superbike Championship to go to the wire. I would like it to be as tight as possible. I don't want Bautista to run away with it, even though up until now he has been. Well, he was, and then recently there's been a few cracks, but I still think he's going to run away with it. However, I would like it to be tighter. But I would also like Toprak to go to Sepang knowing that he's the World Superbike champion and he can go to Sepang and really enjoy the MotoGP race. Because if he goes there thinking...
You did it again, you said Top Rack.
Did I say Top Rack? Yeah. I don't know why I keep saying Top Rack. Obviously, what I mean to say is Batista.
8 beers in.
Well, I've only had one. No, but I would like Top Rack to take it to Batista. I would like it to be tight.
Yes.
I would like it to be tight, but I would like Top Rack to give him a race.
Yes.
But I want Batista to have it wrapped up by Sepang, so that whenever Batista goes into the MotoGP, he's not worrying about if I crash, if I get injured, if I ruin my momentum. He's going in there knowing I'm World Superbike champion. I can throw everything at this race.
I think the World Superbike season's over by the time they go to.
Is it over by that stage?
Anyway,
Sure.
I'm pretty sure it is.
When is it?
November the 12th.
What do you?
When's the last World Superbike?
Is that the last? Oh, it's well over then, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah, should be able to
Sepang
relax.
then, that must be the penultimate race. Is that correct?
It could
Because
well be.
More.
So I got that on the 12th. The 19th it goes to Qatar, which is the final race. Yes, it is the... And then I've also got Valencia. I don't know, it could be the penultimate race. I'd need to double check. It's either the second or third last. We're so good on this podcast. We know everything.
Yeah, we're well good.
Yeah.
Wire.
Right. The 20th Grand Prix is Gran Premio Moto de la Comunitat Valencia. I didn't say that right. Anyway, Valencia, 24th, 26th of November. Qatar is the 17th, 19th of November. Petronas Grand Prix of Malaysia is the 10th, 12th of November. I don't know. Well, it says GP20. It's here. Look. You see it
I
on
thought
there.
it was finishing in Qatar. I could have sworn it was finishing in Qatar.
Well, I'm on the official MotoGP app and it says 24th.
Yeah, but the new MotoGP app is pretty rubbish.
It is really bad, yes. The new MotoGP app is pretty bad. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the old MotoGP app was perfect. It was a little bit expensive for what it was, but I managed to get my head around it and it was working, and they've made tweaks to it and they've ruined it completely. Anything good about it they took away, and I think it must be because maybe that, what is it called, Discovery Plus must have been like, we need people to sign up to Discovery Plus for MotoGP, make your app terrible. Okay, we'll do that. It's pretty terrible anyway, we'll just make it even worse. But I think they've taken things away from it. I paid X amount of pounds that I paid. I'm a little embarrassed to say how much I paid. But I paid money for it a few months ago at the start of the season, and with that...
Hold on, you pay for MotoGP?
I paid for the MotoGP app, yeah.
Oh, what? So you can watch the races?
Yeah, well, it gives you all the stuff. Yeah, I can watch all the races, and I can watch all the races as far back as 1992. Of course, you can do that on YouTube anyway, but...
Yeah. I just used the free version, so I didn't know that that's what you watched it through. Oh, yeah, because it's Video Pass, isn't it?
Yeah, I basically paid for the Video Pass, but with that, you're paying for the whole app. But what they've done is they've taken things away from it, and I'm like, but hold on, I paid for it. You know what I mean? I paid for the app. Whenever I paid for the app, I paid for what you were giving me, and now you've taken stuff away from it.
So how much is Discovery Plus then now?
Well,
for the month?
I pay $6.99 a month, and I can watch World Superbikes, and I can watch athletics, and shit ski and stuff, and whatever crap they've got in Eurosports. So the other day, and the MotoGP was on, I went to try and watch the MotoGP, and it told me I had to upgrade, and it was trying to charge me $29.99 a month. I was like,
wow,
what?
Wow.
Obviously, that must mean it comes with even more features, but I'm not paying that. That's like 300.
Well, I watched the MotoGP. I watched the MotoGP through Disney Plus, not Disney, Discovery Plus. But I pay £15 a month through EE for BT Sport, which gives me all access to Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
So I've basically got it for £15 a month.
That's pretty.
So maybe have a look at doing it that way.
Yeah, but I don't have.
I'm pretty sure. Was it episode 1? I think we gave some tips about how to get BT Sport and whatever it was for cheaper, because there was things like if you had an EE contract, there was things like
because I do mine through my EE.
Because then if you get EE, then you get BT Sport cheaper, and then if you get Discovery Plus thrown in as well, it's like loads of different ways you could get it cheaper. Basically, don't pay full price.
Because I was obviously I was bloody moaning about it. That's why.
Yes. But yeah,
and then I ended up £15 a month I paid for BT Sport through EE, and then I get Discovery Plus all access for free.
Because I think I get...
So that's a good deal, really.
I get Discovery Plus for free because I'm a BT customer, I think. So I think that's how it works for me.
The BT customer.
So yeah, there's loads of different ways of getting a deal. Make sure you don't pay full price. And I'm not stingy either. And there's me.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not that stingy. I'm really not stingy as you. But I'm not stingy, and I'm giving you advice of how to save money. Anyway, I'm not Martin Lewis. Should we crack on with whatever's next?
It's in my blood. I'm from Yorkshire.
Martin Lewis.
It happens.
Have you ever seen... I know it's a podcast, people can't see us, but do you ever see Martin Lewis whenever people ask him a question, he's like...
I've never noticed.
He does that, doesn't he? Does that.
He just think... Wow.
I tell you what, though, he's a great guy.
He's brilliant.
I'm always looking at his money saving
Without
tips.
him, I would not have been able to have got a deposit for my house. So, fair play to him.
Yeah.
I probably would.
Thank you very much, Martin Lewis.
Yes, we love you.
Right.
Are we getting into... Is that it for the news? Have we got silly season?
No, that was it for the news.
We usually record on Monday or the Tuesday, and that gives us time to prep and talk about it. And it's a Sunday. The racing's literally just finished a few hours ago, and we've not really done any prep at all. But you're going to get our reactions to it now because we haven't really talked too much about it. What race would you like to start with? Do you want to go Billy Big Bollock straight into the British Superbikes?
Yeah.
Well, I only watched pretty much the British Superbike races.
I have a shocked face. I am shocked by that, Ash. You only watched one race. 3 races.
No. I watched 3 races. I watched other races as well, but I wasn't paying as much attention. I will admit that.
Pretends to be shocked.
Fuck off, Sam.
Right. I paid more attention to race 2 and race 3 than I did the sprint. Before we get into it, I said this back in Silverstone in the first race of the season. I'm going to say it again. I don't really understand why they call it a sprint. The sprint was 14 laps. The main race was 20 laps. It's hardly that much shorter. The sprint should be about 8 laps. A proper sprint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were saying this week, and like we know the result. People that are listening to this probably know the results. The reason the Yamahas do so well is because of the way they can flow around the corners and stuff, and people worry about their tyres being burnt up and running out of rubber, and they have to really look after their tyres going around the race, blah blah blah. If that was a proper sprint and it was 8 laps, every rider on that paddock could just throw balls to the wall and go for it and forget about ruining their tyres. That's the whole point of a sprint, is it not? To take away the whole tyre war. People can just go out and ride as hard as they can. They made it 14 laps. It's barely a sprint. It's 2/3 of a normal race. It should be like a third.
I don't care. It's more laps. It's more racing.
I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with the race and how many laps there is. I'm disagreeing with what they're calling it. They shouldn't call it a sprint. It's not a sprint race.
Well, I think up until a couple of years ago, I'm pretty sure it only used to be like 2 races on a weekend. And then I don't know if it's because of COVID or something, they basically put it up to 3 and then realised actually 3 works really well. So I think they've just called it a sprint just to
World
justify having
Superbikes is
3
a sprint.
races.
MotoGP has a sprint. Why would British Superbikes not have a sprint? But why call it a sprint? It's not a sprint. Anyway,
it's not a sprint, no.
Because you know what? You know how pedantic I am. I'm watching it and I'm like, this is great, but it's not a sprint. Right, first race of the weekend, first World Superbike race. Like I said, I paid more attention to the 2 feature races than I did the sprint race. Not because I couldn't pay more attention, I just was busy.
Well, I said before this weekend about how Thruxton throws up some really random results. I mean, like Friday practice, I was looking and there was Luke Mossey up, I think he was like 2nd. I would never have guessed him being near the front.
No, I wouldn't.
But
either.
I don't think he didn't do that well in the end. But Obviously, some riders it favoured, but this weekend the Ducatis really struggled.
They really
but there's
nowhere near.
There's no straights on the track. At no point does the track just go straight.
There's no
some
edge
of the
grip,
bends.
was it they were saying?
Some of the bends are so long and they're so wide that you might be able to pick the bike up.
Yeah, there's some long
straight.
sweeping bends, but it's still not straight.
No,
it's
not
literally
straight,
just
like,
a corner.
Yeah,
that's literally what
the whole thing
Thruxton is.
Yeah, the whole thing's just corner after corner after corner, and quite a lot of it's on the right hand side. So, being a clockwise circuit, so I think that's why the Ducatis didn't really favour it at all. Like, I think on the sprint race, Glenn Urban was top Ducati and he was 9th.
Yes.
So you say it brings up random results, and it does compared to the rest of it, but they're not that random in the sense that how many times in the past 3 years, including this year, I mean, how many times has O'Halloran won round that track? Like, if you take 3 races in 2021, 3 races in 2022, and now 3 races in 2023, that's 9 races, and he's won 8 of them, 8 out of 9. So yes, it's random in the sense that the track itself favours obviously Yamaha, but it's not that unpredictable in the sense that if I would have paid attention and actually looked back to see who done the triple last year, I probably would have picked O'Halloran to win all 3, but I didn't do that. So
yes.
Like, if McCann's if O'Halloran's on a Yamaha next year, say he's on the what's the new team going to be? The new Yamaha team we had last week in the news.
Oh, OMG
Yamaha, right? It's pretty much the same outfit, different name, different paint.
Yes.
Bit different. If O'Halloran's on there and he turns up at Thruxton next year, you're probably gonna put O'Halloran. You're going to tip your hat to O'Halloran and think he might win at least one of these races.
Yeah, probably. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but O'Halloran did do phenomenally.
Yeah, he did do very well.
And it's like it was like his backyard. It's like he went there, and even like race 1 or the sprint race, if it's a fucking sprint, but race 1, the first race on the Saturday, I can't remember exactly. I think he was more at the front for most of the race, or he was battling at the front.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, he was in the sprint. Yeah,
but you could see in race 2 and race 3 that he was at one stage he was like outside the top 10. And
yeah, he was in 9th for quite a lot of it.
In the first
what
feature,
he was doing, he was just saving his tyres, give it 3 or 4 laps towards the end, and just ping.
Yeah, but he just knew. He was like, I know what I can do. I know what I can do in this track. I know this bike. I know the tyres. I know this track. I know what I can do in this bike. And he just always timed it absolutely perfectly in every race. He knew exactly what he had. He just knew. It was like a part of him, that track.
But it massively favoured the rookies this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
I just want to just have a little big-headed moment here, because last week on the podcast, I said in the predictions, I think Charlie Nesbitt will get a podium. Now, I didn't think he was going to get 3, but I just want to drop that in there, that I called he'd get a podium this week. I also called Jason O'Halloran for the first win as well. As it turned out, he won all 3 anyway.
You did. And well
thank
done
you.
But I'm so happy for Charlie, and obviously Hawk Racing, that he's got 3 podiums. That was brilliant. I was loving it.
Yes, same.
And you could tell that he's really, really chuffed about it as well.
No, it was very, very good. Brilliant to watch. And also Max Cook had a brilliant weekend.
Oh, Max Cook did. Unfortunately,
apart from the second race, yeah.
Oh, I was so gutted for him, and you could tell he was gutted as well. But no, Max Cook was
he's a really good good rider. I can't remember if he won the British Talent Cup or if he came runner up. I can't remember, a few years ago. But yeah, he's a really good young rider.
Was he not in? What was he in last year? What was he in last year? Was he Super Sport or Super Stock or Junior Super Sport or something last year?
I think he might have been Junior Super Stock.
Super Sport, Junior Super Sport.
Super Stock, Junior Super Stock.
Is it Junior Super Stock?
I think. Not 100%. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that, which is like 600. So it's quite a big jump to go from 600
his
to...
teammate as well with...
Lee,
on the other
Lee Jackson.
Is it Lee Bob Jackson?
Yeah, he got a couple of podiums.
Did really well.
He got a couple of podiums this week as well.
Yeah, everybody likes Lee Jackson.
Yeah, really, really good. It's nice to see somebody else up there up front. You know, it was good. I really enjoyed the racing this weekend, all of it.
So hopefully it gives the rookies a bit of a boost.
Yeah, I think it will give Charlie a massive confidence boost. Well, all of them that were up there, the rookies, it will give them a huge confidence boost.
I'll give them a confidence boost, but if they go to another track that just favours the Ducatis, and it's not just British Superbikes, it's just across the board. If you go to a track that favours the Ducatis, you're racing with one hand behind your back, or fighting with one hand behind your back.
It's Cadwell next, and Charlie goes round round there as well.
Cadwell Park,
Cadwell.
the mountain.
I was going to go to that one, but then I'm going on Park instead, hopefully.
The guy I go to bikes with, he's taking his camper van down to Cadwell Park. He's like, "Oh, you coming down Cadwell? We've got space for you if you want to go." And I was like, "Yeah, I do want to go, but I'm flying back home to Northern Ireland that weekend, so got to go see fucking family, don't I?" I'm saying that. I'm really looking forward to seeing my family in case you're listening.
You've only just gone back. You were only there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but I was there to watch motorbikes. I went there to the Armoy Road Race. Now I've got to go back to actually see family. I went back to the Armoy Road Race, and the only people I've seen were the pitheads. Everybody else just kind of get ignored. It's like, unless you want to stand in the field.
What, like when you go back to your hometown and the same person sat in the same seat and drinking the same drink, they just look a bit older. It's like going in a fucking time machine.
Did you say when the same person sat in the same sink? What sort of fucking place do you go to? Standing in the sink.
Same seat.
There ain't no room in the toilet, boy. Just sitting pissing in the sink.
Sat in the same seat.
They're saying that they're from Yorkshire. Hey, ain't no room in the toilet. Come and get some chips. Best place in the world.
Why does everyone do that when they try and do a Yorkshire
That's what you
accent?
sound like.
Is that not how Yorkshire people sound?
Hell.
Hey, wife's got dinner on the table. Come and get some fish and chips from Whitby.
No.
Best fish and chips in the world. No, they're not.
They are best fish and chips in the world.
Devon.
Yeah.
Go to Devon.
No, they are.
In fact, the ones up here are even better than Whitby.
I've never had fish and chips in Devon, but I've had fish and chips, not in Whitby, but in York. And they were fucking shit.
Yes, in York. York isn't the home of fish and chips.
They were. There's Whitby, and they were shit.
It is.
Actually, I never had fish.
Whitby
I just had chips.
Is the best.
Right, so I went to York, right? I went to York, and I asked for a chip butty, right? And the guy took the bag and put the bread at the very bottom, and then dumped loads of chips into it, and then put loads of salt and vinegar in it. And I had to eat chips to get to the bread. So now I'm not eating a chip butty, now I'm just eating chips. And then by the time I got to the bread, it was all soggy. And I was like, well, now I'm just eating soggy bread. This is not a chip butty.
Sounds horrendous.
Yeah, but then you would have bitched there was not enough chips if you hadn't put enough chips on it.
No, what I want is a chip butty that I can hold and onto and eat as a chip butty. And then if he wants to give me more chips in order to be nice, put more chips on the side. Absolutely.
Well, you know what you should have done then, you stupid idiot? You should have said, right, I'll have a portion of chips and I'll have a bread roll, please, pal. And then you could have put as much chips in it as you wanted.
Well, if I thought that people from Yorkshire don't know how to make chip butties, then I would have done that. But I was under the impression that people from Yorkshire knew how to make chip butties, but obviously they don't.
That's the best bit. When the bottom of the bun, it's all, soaked up all the vinegar and salt. That's the best bit.
No, I don't want soggy bread. It reminds me of homeless people. That's what I do. I do not want that soggy bread. That's disgusting. Nobody wants any soggy bread. Nobody wants that. Like whenever your kids, or when you are a kid, when you are a kid, and you spill your juice all over your sandwich, and your ma or dad makes you eat it anyway because you've got no other bread in the house, and you're like, do I really?
Welcome to the BS part.
I really have to eat this. Yeah, at the minute we're still discussing the motorcycle racing. It's like, do I really have to eat this piece of soggy bread? Yes, eat it. Anyway. Yes, we have talked about
How did we get onto that from the race one?
Because, as usual, you two try and do an impression of Yorkshire people, which just goes wrong.
Anyway, have we covered the sprint?
I think we've pretty much covered
So
all of it.
I done for race 2 and race 3. I'm calling them race 2 and race 3 because I'm calling the sprint race 1. I didn't take any notes, but I basically wrote down the top 5, top 6 for every lap. So lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, blah blah blah. And I actually quite enjoyed it. I think I might do that for now on for all my races, because you know the way if you get a program, the program comes with loads of little boxes and you can tick first, second, third, fourth, blah
Nerd.
blah blah blah. But it's probably better to do that after. Yeah, I am a nerd when it comes to motorbikes. But it's probably better to do that afterwards. But this was really fun. I really enjoyed doing this. So at the start of the lap, I'd write. Right, so like lap 1, obviously they took off and Ride and Nesbitt and Vickers, Haslam and Storm Stacey. That was the top 5 in lap 1. I'm not going to go through all 20 laps because that would be boring. Imagine I did that. Here is a roundup of who was top 5 in every lap for 20 laps. Lap 1, Ride.
I tell you what though,
Vickers. That would be like,
I thought
be like the guy saying the results back in the 90s when you were a kid. The football results. Anyway, what were you saying?
what with the football? Leeds United 1, Man United 1.
Birmingham City
Well,
1,
that guy.
Leeds United 0.
Newcastle United 4, Aston Villa are shit.
Yeah, there you go.
It's actually 5.
Leon Haslam in the
Was it
last
5?
race.
Fucking hell. I
It was
turned it off
5-1.
Was
before.
it 5? Shit.
Bottom of the league.
Right. It's not a football
Anyway,
podcast.
Shut up about football. Leon Haslam in the last race, I thought he was going to start pushing to the front because he was hanging on the back in 5th place at one point, but then he seemed to just drop back.
I was hoping he might win that race.
Yeah, I know, because we're still waiting for Leon Haslam to win, aren't we?
I think it's
We
getting
all
a bit,
want him to win
I
one.
think it's getting a bit late in the season now. I know there's still time.
I think it's getting late on now.
Because
getting late
Thruxton,
on now.
like you mentioned, Chippy, and I do agree with you, even though Jason O'Halloran has won 8 out of 9, but Thruxton is the circuit that can throw up surprises. That is that circuit. You can tell by how well the rookies did this week. And I think of considering where Leon Haslam was at some of the races, like he was top 5 in race 2 at one stage, and he was in the top group. I think if he was going to win a race, this might have been his week to do that, or his weekend to do that.
Yeah,
Because this was the weekend. This was the weekend the Ducatis were on their knees. Basically, they weren't there. They might as well not turned up. Tommy Bridewell got 1 point in the last race. I think he might as well not turned up. You know what I mean?
Franco Bourne.
How do you think the Ducatis...
I was just going to say Franco Bourne finished ahead of Tommy Bridewell.
Yeah,
that race.
he's on a Honda though. He's on a Honda.
The Hondas and Kawasaki's went well this weekend. It was nice to see them up there.
They did really well.
Honda's, Kawasaki's,
It
Yamaha.
was nice, yeah.
Same as
you
only going to be
think,
this weekend.
You think Leon Haslam, you know, he did not too bad. I know he didn't win or get a podium, but he did not too bad. And then you've got well, Peter Hickman didn't do too bad this week considering his recent form. He was in 8th at one stage, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Josh Brooks
was
retired.
last.
His 4th race, or the 3rd race, he's just retired. He's like, white baller. What were you going to ask, Ash? Why did Ducatis not do so well?
No, I was just about to say, you know, we were saying that Cadwell Park the next meet.
Yeah.
Do you reckon I know they've got a straight down the back, so they'll obviously be able to pull away there, but the rest of the track they're going to struggle.
Tommy
Is
Bridewell
Cadwell
goes
Park-
really well there.
Is
Does
Cadwell
he?
Park
Right.
does Cadwell Park not favour Josh Brooks though? Does he not do really well right there?
He
Is it one of
does.
the tracks he likes?
Peter
And
Hickman
you never
goes
know with
well.
you never know with Josh Brooks that he could turn up and just. But he was shocking this week, and
Yes.
you can't. I don't even think he
The
can.
Maverick Vinales of BSB.
Yeah, he is. He won one week and then just come last the next. You can't really. I don't think you can say the BMW doesn't work there because Haslam did all right. Peter Hickman had a. I'm going to inverted commas, fairly decent weekend compared to how he's been racing the past couple of weeks in BSB. So I think the BMW has the opportunity to perform not too bad there, not to be running around last place. But yeah, definitely favoured the Yamahas, definitely favoured the Japanese manufacturers, that's for sure. Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda, they were the ones doing really well this week.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really good to see.
Another BMW that didn't
Anyway,
do
carry
very
on.
well this weekend Danny Buchan.
No,
he's
he was
having such a bad season. I feel so sorry for him.
Yeah, he qualified. Was it race 2 or 3? He was last on the grid. I don't know if it was qualifying, but he was basically the slowest in the sprint race or something. So that's where he started out. Yeah.
Such a shame. Such a nice guy.
Maybe he just needs a different
such a fast rider as well.
Maybe he needs a year out. Maybe he needs to go somewhere where he can win.
I mean, like drop a class.
Maybe that's what he needs. Like, if I was racing and I was not enjoying it and I was coming last, or I was, fighting just to get 1 point, and the opportunity was to go to, not an easier class, because none of them are easy.
No.
But move to a class where the riders maybe aren't as experienced as you, maybe aren't, as good as you, because if he's in the British Superbike, just because he's pretty good, maybe the riders aren't good as you. Go in there and know you can puff your chest out and be like, well, I'm going to be fighting for top 10s, top 5s, and get your confidence back up. Maybe get a win or two, and then actually start to enjoy riding the bike again. Actually,
National Superstock could be good.
But is that not going? Are they not getting rid of it?
No, that one's staying. And they've also got a bike in that. Alistair Seeley's on that bike, so maybe just the season swap them round.
Is it the Super Sport they're getting rid of then? Because I can never keep up.
It's the Junior Super Sport and Junior Super Stock.
Right.
They're keeping the National Super Stock and the British Super Sport. That's staying.
Right. I can't keep up with British Superbikes. There's Junior this, National that, National this, Junior that.
I mean, the best chance for Danny Buchan to get a win this year, I reckon, would have been Knockhill, but his bike just
let him down.
Didn't perform, did it? Yeah. Sorry, Danny. We'd like to see you do well.
A fellow podcaster.
Yes.
With a successful podcast.
Yeah.
You say fellow.
Come on to our podcast, Danny.
And tell us why.
I did speak to him about it when I was there, actually, but obviously nothing's come of it.
Yeah, but you don't just... It's like anything else in the world, Ash. You don't just speak to somebody. You have to then follow that up with emails. You have to message them. You have to keep in contact. You basically have to put in a little bit of effort.
Yeah, because I never do that.
No, you don't.
No, never do any effort, me. As I say, I'm shit.
Even with Fontgate, you just basically said that font's shit, and I was like, well, what should I do? Change the font? Oh, great, thanks.
It was shit.
Yeah.
Then use your brain and change the fucking font.
Yeah, to what? That'll still be shit. At least... Like,
Chippy found you a font.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah,
I came up with a solution, not you.
Chippy logged on, went to the effort to think of something, and then went, there you go. Because I can't do that stuff.
Me.
I ain't got that. I'm not an artist. You just went that shit.
Shut
whenever
up.
I said
we've discussed this already.
Whenever I said to you, do you want to find a solution? You never said, do you want to give me the logon details and the password, and I'll go on and I'll try and sort something out for you. No, you just went that shit. Cheers, Ash. Thanks. Cheers, bro. Cool story, bro. Face.
Cool story, bro. Remember that when I put another good video up.
It's about time you did. You've only got one good video. You're still living off the success of that one video. You're like, oh, I had one video.
No.
Yes. You've got, what, 4 or 5 videos on there, and only one of them.
I think you'll find that all of my videos have more views than any of the podcasts.
Yeah, I know, but when you say more views, one's got like 187 views, and then another one's got 10,000, so it's not exactly in the same league as that one video you've got.
Don't matter. That's not racing done, is it?
No.
Where were we? We're talking about Danny Buchan.
It's Dylan Superbike.
Welcome to the bullshit show.
Right, what else have you...
Right, I've lost where I was. We were talking about Danny
I didn't watch many of the other classes, if I'm honest, because I was working. It's not because I couldn't be bothered. I would have sat down all weekend and watched every single class, but I was working, apart from the sidecars. But I was working all weekend, so I haven't had a chance to watch everything.
You had some strong words about Tom Booth Amos, though.
He's always got strong words about Tom Booth Amos. Right,
yes,
remind me again.
I don't even think he's that bad of a guy.
Tom Booth Amos is in the National Super Sport, correct?
British Super Sport, yeah.
British Super Sport. Because I get mixed up. Super Sport, Super Stock. because my mind wanders whenever I think about things. I have a condition. I just don't know what it is. Probably called alcoholism. The first super sport race.
I didn't see
this is what I was trying to mention to you earlier. I was gutted for him because he qualified quite well, and at the start of the race they were all lining up, and then the cameras panned to the pits, and he was there, and his team were frantically trying to get this black tyre onto his bike because there was something wrong with his brakes kept locking or something in his back tyre or something, so they had to change his back tyre. And while they were doing that, they were all lining up on the track, and then the lights went green and they were still trying to fix his bike, and they were halfway round, maybe 3/4 round the track before he came out before he made it out of the pits and onto the racetrack and actually started racing. So he started not just dead last, but way back behind everybody. Still managed to get 15th and get a point. So whenever they interviewed him in the second race, that's why he mentioned, he was like, well, I'd like to start the race first and foremost. He said it with a bit of a laugh. He was pissed off. He was annoyed that had happened because he went out on that race and was lapping faster than anybody else, which obviously he could do because he wasn't in a battle, but that's why he was pole position in the second race. So I can understand his frustration. I can understand why he was annoyed, because that's not, and I'm not saying it's his team letting him down. I'm not saying that, because the team are just as important as the rider, but it's not the first time he's had to pull in due to a mechanical issue. So I think it was it the last round in Silverstone, he went out in the first race and he was like battling for the lead, and then he got a mechanical and had to pull in. So it's not the first time. It
happens to everybody.
I know it happens to everybody, but I think if you go back in the past 4 rounds, it's happened to him 3 times. He's had quite a lot of mechanical issues, and you just look at how well his teammate did this week, and you think if he'd have been out in the first race, I know it happens to everybody. I'm not using that as an excuse, but I honestly don't think he was being as. So basically, you think he's cocky at the best of times.
I think he's massively cocky, and the way he says, like, if I finish second, it's not good enough. I'm here to finish first. I'm here to win, and then he doesn't back it up. He always finishes like he's battling to try and get on the podium sometimes, and it's just like, you're not as good as you're making out you are, and it does my head in. Like, just take yourself down a peg or two, realise where you actually are. You're not world champion.
No, he's not a world champion. But what I'm trying to say is, if he didn't, I know you're saying ifs and buts and maybes, and that's fine. If he didn't have the mechanical issues that he had, he'd be a lot closer to Curry than what he is. He'd be battling for the championship, like proper battling for the championship, if he didn't have the mechanicals. Now, I know he did have them, and ifs, buts and maybes, but how many times do the commentators and the pundits on the show, how many times do they say that racing motorbikes is all about confidence? He can't be going to the line thinking, oh, I'm 50, 60 points behind, I'm never going to win anything, so maybe I should just gee up. He can't be going and doing that. So he has to keep the confidence.
Yes, I understand that.
You do know this is a podcast and nobody can see what you're doing. Nobody can see any of that. That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
You're doing it to try and annoy me, and I'm professional enough that I can work through it.
One thing I did want to mention, Danny Kent's rear shock at the end of the last race completely obliterated, and he's just the whole back of the bike was practically on the back tyre.
Yeah, and then
he swerved and obviously high-sided off the bike, and then was it Jack Kennedy?
Yeah, Jack Kennedy.
It was Jack Kennedy, wasn't it? He obviously just was right behind him and smashed straight into him. God, it was an awful crash. And Danny was obviously trying to make sure he was all right, which was good to see. But it must, God, I mean, that's really bad for a rear shock to fail like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
It'd be interesting to see what in the investigations what comes of that actually.
What's going to come of it? It was just.
Well, no, just like to find out exactly what happened. Like you might find out why it failed or what have you. But yeah, at least they were both okay, which is the main thing.
Yes.
I quite like Danny Kent. He was doing all right this weekend as well.
Yeah, he's done well the last few weeks.
Podium, really. But
so I was just having a look at the results of the other classes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Super Sport now. So the first race was at Ben Curry, Luke Stapleford, and then Rhys Irvin. Rhys Irvin had a decent weekend this week.
Yeah,
do you know I sent you a message. I've always got my eye on him, McGlinchey, Ewan McGlinchey. I'm always wanting him to do really well. He's from he's from a place called Akadui, which in Northern Ireland's like probably one of our most popular short circuits is Akadui. You've got Akadui, Nuts Corner, but there's Bishop's Court and stuff like that. But Akadui is very popular in the sense that it's got quite a few bike meets that go there all year, at the start of the season, the end of the season. So it's obviously grew up around bikes, and I've always got my eye on him, wanting him to do well, written for him, and I think this weekend he was doing really well, especially at race 2. And the reason it just popped into my head there is because I seen Rhys Irvin's name. Him and Rhys Irvin had a little bit of a coming together in race 2, and it wasn't anybody's fault. Nobody was to blame. Like, Rhys Irvin had his line, and McClinchy was trying to go around the outside of him, and they kind of touched, and away he went. And
yes,
I was gutted for him though, because he's been knocking on the door of podiums and potential race wins for quite a few rounds now, and I think he just needs to get that one under his belt.
Yes.
Yeah, I think in race 1 he came 5th. I think in race 1 he came 5th. It was just that race 2, but race 2 was like he was battling for the podium, maybe even second. And once you get into second, then you're battling for first. And at one stage, this is not just way. Like, I was thinking this at Superbike, but it's the same with the Super Sport. In fact, it's the same with all the racing around Thruxton. I was watching the racing there, and at one stage I just thought, it's all like Moto3. Do you know what I think? It was really, really tight. There was chopping and changing. They were throwing bikes at each other everywhere. It was really tight. I know you didn't watch all the other races, so you don't really know, but
yes, it was.
And even the F900, what are you
carry on. I'm just looking at the British Talent Cup just while you was talking. Sorry if I sound like I wasn't interested. No, I am listening.
You're never interested. Even the F900 Cup was pretty good until the last 3 laps. And
what's his name one again? Richard Cooper.
Yeah, he did, but he did look like he was. It did look like it was going to be spicy for him. So basically, there was a crash. I can't remember who crashed, but somebody hit the back tyre of another rider, and that rider then hit into Richard Cooper.
Right.
And Richard Cooper had to go wide, and I thought, I didn't want him to come off. I wasn't thinking, he's going to come off. But he went wide and it slowed him down, and then he was back in 5th, and this was by like lap 4 or something, and I thought, he's been held back, maybe this is the one race where he's not going to win, and he managed to get through to the front and win it anyway. But it was it Barry Burtle? Was that who it was? Took it to him, actually gave him a race over. Like, caught back up to him, in the last lap, but Richard Cooper's he's too good for that class, man. He's just too good for that class.
I said that from the start. He shouldn't be in that class. And if he wins it, it's not really a massive achievement. It's not good for anybody. It's not going to be good for him. It doesn't really, it's a championship win. It's not like a massive championship.
I think it is. I think it's good for the cup in the sense, like I said at the start of the season, if somebody beats him, then it gives them bragging rights. Like, we beat the guy who thought nobody could beat. You know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, it does give, he is the man to beat, I suppose.
He is the man to beat, yeah.
Every class needs that.
Do you like him now, Chippy?
I've always loved Richard Cooper. I think he's class, and I've always said he should be in Superbike. I think.
He maybe just doesn't want to be in Superbike. Maybe that's why.
Well, he never did it on the Bill-Bay Suzuki. He just never seemed to take that next step on the Superbike. But like in the, what was it called back then? Superstock 1000, National Superstock. He was winning the championships and that. He was dominating them, but as soon as he made it up to Superbike, he just didn't happen for him, which is a shame. Anyway. Anyway. What's next?
You mentioned the British Talent Cup.
Yes.
So I've written down the first and foremost British Talent Cup was, as always, good race out front. I think with the first race there was Brenton, Mousey. Is it Mounsey? Is that how you pronounce his name? Mounsey and Belford.
Yeah,
They took up. Yeah, Solomon Mounsey or something like that. So Brenton, Mounsey and Belford, they took off out front. The three of them were all racing with each other in race one. Really, really good race. Chopping and changing all the way around, as you would expect, with the smaller bikes. Plenty of room on the track for them to go. Very, very good race. Really competitive. Really, really good. Race 2 was pretty much the same, except they had another rider who was up on it and made it a 4-way rather than a 3-way, which was Walker. Can't mind his first name.
Ollie Walker, I think it was.
Ollie Walker. Well, I'm just going to assume that is his name. Yeah, Ollie Walker. So he was up there. So Brenton was first, Walker was second, Mounsey was third, Belford was fourth. I can't remember what the points are.
Evan Belford, I think he's about 40 or 50 points ahead still. So he's still got quite an advantage. In fact, I can get it. I've got it right here, in fact. Evan Belford first, 241 points. Emmanuel Brinton second on 196. Mounsey third on 192. Then there's a bit of a gap. But, yeah. Yeah, Ollie Walker did well. Because he's on the... what's that team in Moto 3? What the Brits are in? Vision Track.
Vision Track Racing,
yes.
Isn't it?
He's in that academy. So yeah, it's nice to see him up there. They obviously see something in him. So it's nice to see him up there. But as I said, I haven't even seen the British Talent Cup, but I've seen the results.
And am I the only one that watched any of the other races other than just the Superbike?
I watched a little bit of the Super Sport.
Believe so.
I watched a bit of the Super Stock. I didn't see a lot. Just because I was at work. It wasn't my fault. Didn't see any of the sidecars either. What a shame.
Oh, I've seen people complaining today on Facebook. They were like, why are they not showing the sidecars? And like, I'm watching Eurosport and they're repeating a race that's already been shown. They're not showing the sidecars. And then other people are like, oh, it's on Discovery Plus if you want to watch it. And I was like, because sidecars are crap. Nobody wants to watch sidecars. That's why.
Yeah, but I think I'd rather watch sidecars than a race that happened yesterday.
No, it was a really good race before.
Yeah, but I quite like the sidecars.
I don't. Cool. I think they're boring.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would you rather they aired... This is more for Chippy. Well, it's for you as well, I guess, Ash. You can answer this question, but just Chippy hates both of them. So would you rather they aired the F900 Cup or the sidecars?
F900 Cup.
Probably the F900 Cup.
You'd rather see the F900 Cup?
Yes.
Well, yeah. But that's not saying that I don't like the sidecars. They are still fun to watch.
It's just not... It's fun to watch, but it's not a championship I can really sort of get involved with. I don't feel a connection with it as a championship.
Yeah, if you don't feel a connection with it, then fair enough.
Oh, here's a question I've got for you. The F900 ABK beer. ABK, I imagine, is an actual beer brand. Do you think more beers will start to advertise using their 0% beers? But really what they're doing is just advertising their beer. Like if Budweiser come out and said, if Budweiser come out and we're like, oh, we're Budweiser, 0%, we're advertising our 0% beer. I'm not looking at that thinking, oh, Budweiser 0%. I'm looking at that thinking, God, I want a Bud. And not a 0% Bud. I want a proper fucking meaty man Bud.
Well, there's that team in Moto 3. They it's not 0.0%. They've been
Estrella,
their beer for a while.
I don't know.
Garcia or something. I don't know. It's a 0%.
Because they sponsor Marc Marquez and that as well. If you ever watch like a documentary with him in, there's usually at some point he's got one, and it's always the 0.0%.
He can't be seen to be drinking. Them guys didn't drink proper. Imagine going out in the piss with one of them like MotoGP riders and their little, I look after myself and keep myself healthy. And I can't put on any weight because we're too heavy for the bike. Imagine going out in the piss with them. They'd drink a beer and they'd be on their fucking ass. They'd be like, oh, I can ride a motorbike really fast. And I was like, that's really good, but you can't drink a beer, you fairy. Come on, let's get wanker.
Jack Miller could.
Jack Miller could.
Jack Miller would outdrink you.
Yeah. Shall we get into silly season?
Shall we?
Come on then, Chippy. Get into the silly season.
Right. So, silly season. As I said in the news, we're going to go into more detail about the Gresini ride that's available. The second one. So, I'm going to own up. I kind of got this off the MotoGP website, but I thought it was a good idea for us to cover it as well. So, there's loads of riders linked to it. So far, I've had Marc Marquez, Tony Arbolino, Jake Dixon, Franco Morbidelli, Johan Zarco linked to it. And I thought we can't really discount Fabio Di Giannantonio, as he is currently riding for the team.
He's already riding there, yeah.
Yes. So they're the riders that are linked.
But they're probably not going to stick with him.
No, let's be honest. They're probably going to get rid of him. But, I mean, whoever gets that ride is going to be under so much pressure because they've got to then justify that ride. I think they're going to be under more pressure than Alex Marquez because they've got to justify that they were the right person for that ride.
Yeah.
But out of all those...
No, I think whoever gets that ride, to justify that ride, all they have to do is be better than Di Giannantonio, and then they can say, well, there's an improvement.
I don't. I think they've got to be better than all the other riders that were linked to it.
No,
it's the same...
That's not their fault. That's whoever...
But it's kind of the same as... You know when Bastianini went to the factory Ducati, it kind of feels like now he's got to prove that he was better than Jorge Martin. I think. Obviously, he's had that injury, but...
Yeah, well, there is a bit of that. You kind of feel like you have to justify people's faith in you. Yes, but if you go to Gresini Ducati, you know you're not going there... Well, obviously, everybody wants to win the championship and everybody wants to be a title contender, but are you really going to Gresini Ducati, which isn't even a factory Ducati, are you really going there to be a title contender?
Mm.
Or are you just going there to make sure that a bike with sponsorship gets rid around really fast?
Yes.
And you're fairly competitive and you get an old podium every now and again.
Yeah, stick Jake Dixon on it.
So out of those riders, who do you think is the favourite? Or who would you pick out of those?
If I could pick any of them, like, let's just say there's no contracts involved.
They're all available.
They're all available, and they all want to ride the bike. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So
they
we're
all
at
want to ride
it's
the
like
bike.
I'm Alan Sugar in this. I'm Alan Sugar, and they're all standing in front of me, wanting me to say you're hired. They're all standing there, you know. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be a toss-up between three of them. Johan Zarco, because I think he's a decent rider for that bike and he's got Ducati experience. Arbolino, because he's coming up from Moto2 and you want somebody that's hungry and you want somebody that's passionate to be there. And then obviously Marc Marquez, because it's fucking Marc Marquez, you know.
Yes.
He's still got something to prove possibly that he can't do on the Honda because it's just not in the right place. And he's marketable. You know, you can make money from him. Even Marc Marquez is a good bet because even if he doesn't win races, he still sells shirts.
Yes.
So in that sense,
I think go on.
So in that sense, that's the three I would go for. Personally, if I had to choose one from a business point of view, I would choose Marc Marquez because, like I said, Gresini Ducati, I don't think they're going to the start and finish at the first round of the season thinking we're going to win the championship. I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're going there thinking we'll try our best and get as many results as we can. But with Marc Marquez riding for them, they will sell shirts, they'll make money, and they might get a race one here and there. So,
and there's that also that little bit extra as well that he'd be riding with his brother in the same team. That would also help with the.
But could you imagine if Marc Marquez went to Gresini Ducati, how much hype there would be? They would be getting so much publicity from that. They would be reckoning the money. They would be. The sponsorship they would get from it, the amount of interviews they would get, the amount of T-shirts they would sell, marketable, the two brothers together in the same on the same outfit. It's just, it would be silly not to if the opportunity's there. That's what I think. Ash is going to say, I want Jack Dixon.
Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I think out of all them riders, the one that would get the most points would be Franco Morbidelli. I think he would be, well, he doesn't do too badly on the Yamaha, like not too badly. And I think if he was on a Ducati, I think out of all of them, I think he'd get the most points on the board.
You think Morbidelli would get more points than Marc Marquez?
On that Ducati, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you think Morbidelli could win the championship on that Ducati?
Well, like you've said, it's the satellite Ducati, isn't it?
It's still capable of winning.
I don't think anybody that gets on that bike is going to win the championship.
Jorge Martin's fighting for the championship, even though he's on a
Pramac, though, isn't he? Which is basically a factory Ducati.
Wait. It is the most up-to-date... Where's it gone? It is the most up-to-date... Where's it gone?
It's the most up-to-date version of the 2022 bike you can get. Is that what you're going to say?
Desmosedici. Yes, it's the most up-to-date version of that.
Yeah, the Pramac is.
Yes.
I just think
I like Franco Morbidelli. I think he's getting a hard rep. I said that last week. I think it's not his fault. Nobody's picking on him. He just happens to be where he's at. Yamaha want the new rider. I don't think Franco Morbidelli would do any better or worse, for that fact, than Johan Zarco. I think they're on a par. I think Marc Marquez. I think if you said to Gresini Ducati, you have Franco Morbidelli, you'll get 25 more points at the end of the season than what you'll get with Marc Marquez. I think they would still go with Marc Marquez, because what's 25 points? Constructors, championships and stuff isn't so much a thing in MotoGP. Nobody really cares about it that much. So, but Marc Marquez will, like I said, he'll sell you merchandise. He will.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yes. Yeah, Marc Marquez would. And like you say, with the Marquez brothers being on the Ducatis and the same team, it's going to do really well.
If Marc Marquez is available, he'll go there. Well, he'll not go there. If Marc Marquez is available and he's willing to go there, I think Gresini Ducati would have him. You would get to the first race of the season and there would be a sea of purple or lilac or lavender or whatever colour it is. I'm saying purple. There would be a sea of purple. There would be.
Yeah.
Probably. You're right. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But who is going to go there? I don't think Marc Marquez is going to go there. I think Marc Marquez is going to stay at Honda. I think Marc Marquez is going to stay at Honda and he's going to finish his contract.
Yeah.
That's what I think will happen. Well. And then he's going to go to KTM. That's what I think is going to happen. Or, no, not KTM. Then he's going to go to Aprilia.
No, I don't think he's going to go to Aprilia.
He will go to Aprilia. Where else is he going to go?
This actually would fit nicely into the next bit of silly season.
Right.
Go on then. Aprilia. Right. Fabio Quartararo, this is the latest rumour, may be switching to Aprilia for 2024 as Yamaha haven't delivered on their promises. However, I can't see it happening because, firstly, all Aprilia riders are already confirmed for next season. And Quartararo has a contract with Yamaha for next season anyway. So I think there's too much stuff needs to happen for him to go to Aprilia. But that is the latest rumour. And as you said, there's no smoke without fire.
I saw a headline in the MotoGP app. I read a little bit of it, but I didn't go into it in great detail because I was busy doing something else. But I saw a headline and it basically said that Quartararo was basically giving Yamaha an ultimatum, like something needs to change or I'm off.
Yes.
I don't think Quartararo's in the position at the minute, and it is kind of Yamaha's fault, but I don't think he's in the position at the minute where he can really make demands.
No.
That I know he's good. I know there's a lot of hype. I know he's still young. He's only 24. But I think there's enough cracks in the armour for people to look at it and think, we don't know if Quartararo is the sort of guy we want to throw everything at.
Yes.
So if it comes to, you can have Quartararo, but you're going to have to pay a massive financial fee to get him out of said contract. I don't know if anybody would do that. I don't know if Aprilia would do that. But they would. I think they would do it for Marc Marquez, because again, if Marc Marquez doesn't win you championships, he sells you shirts. You know what I mean? He's just so marketable. He brings you. He just brings that extra something to it. Like, he's an 8-time world champion. He's got a lot more than just the promise of winning races or possibly winning a championship. You know, he can just make you so much money.
Yes.
I think Marc Marquez and Aprilia is a brilliant fit.
Yeah, I do.
Honestly, and I didn't get it from other podcasts. I genuinely thought of this myself on this podcast as we were talking. It just kind of came to us. It's like, this is where he should go for X, Y, and Z. And I have since listened to other podcasts, and they're all saying the same thing. Everybody that knows anything is all saying the same thing. Yamaha will never have him. Never. KTM don't want him because KTM want to do it on their own. They don't want Marc Marquez to be the one that won it for them, because it looks like they sold out. Ducati don't need him. The only place where he can go and they want him is Aprilia. That's the only place he can go.
When does Marc Marquez's contract run out?
He's got
2024.
2020, the end of 2024, start of 2025. But Marc Marquez, I don't think cares about money. I don't think he cares about money.
No.
He's made...
No, I don't think
he's made 30, 40, 50, God knows, maybe even hundreds of millions. I don't know how much he's worth, but he's made enough money.
It'll be a lot.
But I think he is more concerned about winning another championship, and especially if he could win another championship at another manufacturer. So if he had to pay some sort of financial, if he had to pay like a certain amount to get out of a contract so he could get to Aprilia, and even he could maybe even cut a deal with Aprilia where they pay some of it for him. You know what I mean? I think that's where he would go, and I think that would be good for Honda as well, because I think Honda and Marc Marquez are just not in a good place anymore. I think Honda need to start again. They need to start again, work from the bottom and work up, and you can't do that. I know Marc Marquez isn't old. I know he's only 30, but you can't do that with somebody that's so familiar. You can't start afresh and start a new. The two of them, they're...
Yes. Also, something I've just thought of is Aleix Espargaro said he wants to basically be a test rider, and
he said he wants.
I think that's from the end of next year. So there's going to be a seat available when his contract's up. It's written in the stars. Let's call it now.
The end of 2024.
He's going to Aprilia.
The end of 2024. The end of 2023. He wants to be a test rider.
I thought it was the end of 24. I'm pretty sure I had something the other day about him staying next year.
Right.
Racing.
I have a question for Sam, because I already know Chippy's answer on this. Do you honestly think, Sam, that if Marquez goes to Aprilia, do you think he can, or any other bike, do you really think that Marc Marquez can win another championship?
Yes. And I do think that, genuinely.
Right.
Ash doesn't like that answer.
No, it's not I don't like it. I thought it would be a different answer.
No, I genuinely...
I thought he would say no.
My own personal opinion is I think and you've said this before, I think Marc Marquez should retire, because I think he should finish on a high. To say I think he could win a championship, yes, I think he could win a championship. I don't think he will, but I think he could. You know what I mean? There's a difference between what I think will happen and what I think could happen. If he goes to Aprilia's got a good bike. They've got a decent bike. We said at the start.
They have got a good bike.
We said at the start of the year, if there's one bike that's going to take it to the Ducatis this year, it's Aprilia, even over KTM. We thought that, but they're dependent on Maverick Vinales, who's just no good enough, and he's never been good enough.
No.
And what?
I don't think Marquez can win another championship.
I do.
On any bike.
Yes, he can. He's still got it. Honda
I don't
hasn't.
think he can. No, I don't think
Honda's letting him down. He's not letting Honda down. He's got the potential to win another championship, but Honda at the minute don't.
I think he does, but I don't know how long he's got that for, because he is 30. He's 30 now, so 2024 he'd be 31. So 2025 he'd be 32. If you're going into 2025, he's 32. If he stays at Honda for another year, you just have to think about how match fit he's going to be, how race fit he's going to be. And I mean that if he stays with Honda, and really settles into like what Honda is and what he can achieve with Honda, if he stays with Honda and he's battling just to get a point week in, week out, if he jumps in the Aprilia in 2025, does he then have what it takes to go and race at the front? Because by that stage there'll be even more fresh blood coming in. You'll have Arbolino there, you'll have Acosta come in, you might have Lopez, you'll have
Jake Dixon.
Jack Dixon, yeah, Jake Dixon.
Yes.
Well, by 2025, regardless, going on to Jake Dixon, by 2025, regardless if he's won a Moto2 championship, if he stays in Moto2 for 2024 and still doesn't win the title, if he's still being offered a ride for 2025, he should take it.
Yes.
That's my opinion of Jake Dixon. I just think he should stay in Moto2 and try and win a championship.
Yes,
this year,
I agree.
I honestly don't think Marc Marquez has got enough championship in him to win one.
He has.
I can't see it. I cannot see it. I think he's got to that point now where he's been injured that much. He can't do what he used to do. He used to be able to go around the corner and stick his elbow out and hold the bike up with his elbow and his knee. He can't do that anymore.
I think it's more wishful thinking from you that you don't want him to be able to do that because you hate him so much.
It's really... Oh, fucking hell. It's not. Honestly, it's not. If he was to win another championship, fair play to him. Like, I'd be quite impressed if he did.
But you don't want him to.
I would be very impressed. Well, no, because Rossi's the GOAT.
Exactly. You've got a grudge against him. That's why you don't want him to win.
I haven't.
You have. You don't like him because of what happened with Rossi.
Yeah, but mainly most of the time, I just say stuff against Marquez because I know it annoys you because how much you love him.
That's what we argue so much about this. We're going to have to make a whole episode one day about the whole Marquez and Rossi thing.
Because in my house, growing up, it was always Rossi.
Yeah, I love Rossi. I love Rossi to bits. I think he's brilliant. I just love Marc Marquez just that little bit more.
Well, there you go then.
And I think Marquez is better.
But I'm not saying it because of my opinions on Marquez and Rossi. I'm saying it because I don't think Marquez has what it takes to win another championship.
I do. I think he has. Put him on the right bike.
He's been injured too much.
No,
he's been injured too much.
Injuries aside, he's more or less fine now.
Yeah, but he's not though, because you never heal back to where you.
No, right. It's never going to be. It's not going to be like it was when he was like 22.
No, I get that, but like I say, he's not going to be able to ride. He's going to go to another bike and try and ride it like he used to ride his Honda.
Yeah, but the other bike is more likely to be able to be like the old Honda. Honda now isn't anything like Honda used to be.
No, of course not, because they've had that long of a gap without Marquez being able to give them data.
Well, I've been listening to you there while I've been in the toilet, and I don't disagree with you completely, Ash. I personally don't think Marquez will win another championship, even if he goes to Aprilia. That's not to say he couldn't win another championship. He could, because he's Marc Marquez, good enough. But
yeah,
I just think there's a lot of young, hungry riders who come up who will maybe be willing, not show him the respect that they would have showed him a few years ago. And I don't know if he's as hungry as he thinks he is. You know what I mean? Whenever it comes down to it, it comes down to putting your trust in that front wheel and throwing it into the corner and actually, just giving it everything, I don't know if he's got that hunger. And saying that, if he's on a bike that is massively competitive and he can get to the front, Marc Marquez is really good. And something about Valentino Rossi, even as back as 2015 when he nearly won the championship, they used to say that he wasn't winning races because he was fast. He was winning races because he knew how to disrupt other riders. It was not to do with it was to do with how fast he was, but he knew how to disrupt other riders. He knew to get in front of somebody, how to hold them back, how to annoy them, how to get inside their head. Marc Marquez can do that. Marc Marquez has got that psychological, step up over a lot of riders. And even now, he can look at a rider on the pits. Marc Marquez could look at him and say, he can look at somebody with that sort of thing in his head, like, you're lucky I get injured. And was it 2020 he got injured?
Yes.
He would have, if he hadn't got injured, he would have breezed that championship. He would have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Honda was knackered then, because apparently they did a big change that year, and I think that's.
I know, but 2020 was all over the place.
2020 was a mad year for everything.
Mir won the championship, and I think he only won one race the whole season. Marc Marquez would have. Yeah. If Marc Marquez hadn't been injured, he would have won 2020.
I believe he would have.
Yeah, he probably would have, because nobody else took control of that championship.
Yeah, and he's got that. I still think Marquez has got that psychological, step up in a lot of riders.
Yeah,
like Pecco Bagnaia looking favourite to win this year, and you said yourself, Pecco Bagnaia, you like it that Pecco Bagnaia is becoming the man to beat, and it's good to have that. But Pecco Bagnaia maybe got this itch in the back of his head that's saying, you only beat Marc Marquez because he was on a Honda that didn't work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's maybe got that itch. You know what I mean?
Also, Pecco Bagnaia, when he's leading a race, I always think
he could throw it up the road.
And I always think he's thinking that as well. He's thinking, I might end up losing this. I could end up dropping the bike.
That's why I think he did so well in Silverstone, especially the first race when it was wet, because his attitude was, I don't care if I win, I just don't want to crash. You know what I mean? That's why I think he did so well. Anyway, put Marc Marquez on an Aprilia. Marc Marquez goes out, first race of the season, 2025, even 2024 if it happens, first race of the season, let's say 2025, Marquez on an Aprilia. Pecco Bagnaia has won 3 championships by this stage, right? We're in the future. He's won 3 championships. He's the man to beat. Billy Big Bollock's chest pushed out. Marc Marquez is on the Aprilia. Media's going mad. People are taking pictures. Everybody's just, this is it. Marc Marquez goes out, first qualifying session, boom. He's front of the row. He's front, first. Massively fast. He's out there in front. What statement does that make? Pecco Bagnaia, then, that's the first time in his racing career he looks at Marquez and thinks, this guy can actually beat me now because he's on a bike that works. And that's the psychological advantage that Marquez has over him at the minute. It's 2015 all over again, except this time.
I don't think it'll happen.
This time, Marc Marquez is the old dog, and Pecco Bagnaia is the young upstart. Yes, I can write this stuff. That's what's going to happen.
I think what Marquez should do
happen is too. They want to make it happen.
He should have a season on a different bike, and if he's not performing, he should retire and start his own race team.
No, you can't.
I'll agree with that.
You can't have one season on a different bike. You need a season to learn. Unless you're Valentino Rossi, then you can just go out and win. But you need a season to learn, and then you need a season to race.
Yeah.
But he might go out and win it in the first season.
I don't think he will. But what I'm saying is, if he doesn't make anything of it, he needs to retire and do what? Because he is, as we know, he is an amazing rider, and he has a lot of knowledge and stuff that he can pass on, just like Rossi has. And he should make his own racing team, and then we can have another, like, little Rossi and a little Marquez going at it.
I don't know if Marc Marquez wants to make his own team.
I think he should. I think it'd be stupid if he didn't.
I can't see it,
No, but even from even before Valentino Rossi retired, even before he was close to retiring, you could see how he liked to mentor other riders. He had his ranch. He liked riders to turn up to his ranch, and you could see how he really liked to mentor younger riders and help them out and be that sort of.
Whereas Marquez has always been quite for himself, hasn't he? Really.
Well, yeah, I think Marquez has been very selfish. Yeah, he's just been very narrow-minded to what he wanted. But you have to think, whenever Valentino Rossi retired, what age was he? 40?
How old was he?
I thought it was more than that.
Retired and started racing cars and winning that now.
He was like... Yeah,
he's 44 now. It must have been, 2-3 years ago?
He retired, 2020 or 2019 was his last year, or something like that. So he was about 40 whenever he retired. Marc Marquez was only 30. So you can't turn around and say, Marc Marquez wasn't. He didn't put the arm around riders the way Valentino Rossi did. Because, like I say, Valentino Rossi had 10 years.
Yes.
So Marc Marquez might become that. But...
That's to be
I just
seen.
don't know. Just don't know if he wants to start his own team. I've not seen any signs to suggest that that's what he wants to do.
I think he's too focused on what he's doing now to think about the future like that.
Imagine he did start his own team though.
That'd be class. The MM93 Academy.
Cool.
Against
How
VR46.
long would it be before VR46 goes to Yamaha? And Marc Marquez, M&M 93.
Yes. Goes to Honda.
He wouldn't call himself M&M 93. Surely not. He wouldn't just call me VR46.
I think he would.
No. Anyway, should we move on?
Yes, let's move on.
Can I just say one other thing? This is just completely random, digressing a little bit. I think Valentino Rossi should make a virtual reality motorcycle racing game. Simply because his name is VR46. Virtual reality. I think he should make a VR motorcycle racing game and he could just call it VR46.
You can tell the son's been drinking.
Yeah.
Number 4, baby.
Right, is that it for silly season?
It is, but before we go on to the predictions, I think we should go on to the question.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
I forget all about this question. Right,
Yeah.
question. You asked the question.
Well, last week you asked a question, but it was my question that you stole. So I had to think of another one for this week.
I didn't steal anything from you.
You did. That was exactly the question.
I put it in the doc.
Chap was asking that question for weeks and we just
I have been asking that question for weeks. So I had to think of another one. So this is my question for this week. Who do you think will be the next British world champion? Now this can be in any class. It can be Moto3, Moto2, MotoGP, Moto E, any of the World Superbike support classes. Don't go into like Speedway or anything like that. Just keep it like short circuit racing.
None of us have a fucking clue about Speedway or Super Stock or Supercross or anything, motocross.
Yes.
None of us know anything about that anyway. So
yes. So who do you think is going to be the next British world champion?
I will go first because I've sort of answered this short. Anyway, I would have to say the closest chance of another British world champion would be Jonathan Rea, because I just can't see anybody else currently getting anywhere near. You know, I just can't see it. Possibly Jake Dixon in Moto2 next year if he stays in Moto2, and that's the only thing, the only people I could think of.
Interesting you say next year and not this year, because he is only 50 points behind in the championship and there's still half the season to go.
Well, yeah, all right. It could be this year.
No,
but
Jack
he's probably
Dixon,
going to end up staying in.
Jack Dixon will not want this year. Jack Dixon proved at Silverstone that he does not have the mental capacity to win Moto2 this year.
Yeah, I agree.
He defeated himself. And now this is, you know how much I like to digress. I was listening to an interview with Tyson Fury, and this was before he fought Vladimir Klitschko. He said that they used to sit in a sauna, and he sat in a sauna with Vladimir Klitschko, and he said that he knew that Klitschko used to turn the heat up and sit there, and he would sit there for hours. And he sat there, and Klitschko had to go out first, and Tyson Fury said that's when he knew he had beat Vladimir Klitschko, because and that was years before he fought him.
Yeah.
And it's that mental attitude. You need that mental attitude, and Jack Dixon doesn't have it at the minute. He might have it next year. Maybe this is the year he might actually learn, but he's not got it. I don't think he's got it. Anyway, that's my little.
Well, that's my opinion anyway. Yeah, Chippy.
Well,
it's Chippy's question. So would you like me to answer
first? Just don't copy my answer.
Well, I've not even looked at your answer, so I can see it written there, but I've not looked at it. So rather than just pick a name, I thought the decent thing to do would be go through all the World Championships in which Chippy's talking about. World Super Sport, World Superbikes, World Super Sport 300, Moto3, Moto2, MotoGP, which there's none. But so I went through all of them. And I think our best chance of... If I end up copying your answer here, Chippy, I'm sorry. I've not looked at your answer. I've not read it. I think our best chance is possibly in World Super Sport. So I'm looking at the riders we've got there. We've got Tom Booth-Amos, Taryn McKenzie, John McPhee and Harry Truelove. So I'm thinking Taryn McKenzie on a decent bike, on a competitive bike, might have a chance of actually winning the championship in the World Super Sport. I don't think he'll do it in the bike he's on.
The only thing is, his contract, I think next year and the year after, is on a superbike for that team.
So he's moving up to superbike?
He should be moving up to superbike with that team.
Right.
I believe. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. So he should be moving on from super sport.
I think Tom Booth-Amos, if he didn't try and bite off more than he can chew and try and do 2 championships at the one time, if he concentrated on the World Super Sport, he might have more of an opportunity to actually win it. John McPhee, again, if he had a competitive bike, but I don't know if he's really...
He's always the nearly man.
He is always the nearly man. I then looked at Moto2. Jack Dixon, I don't see it. No, I've already explained. I think his head's. I genuinely think Jack Dixon's head went this week or last weekend. I think his head gone. I think he talked himself out of the championship, and that's going to be sitting with him for a week or two. So
yes,
he might surprise us, or he might surprise me. I hope he does. I would love him to. Brilliant. Rory Skinner's not quite there yet. Sam Lowe's Moto2 going to World Superbikes. That's and he's on a Ducati. That could potentially be a World Superbike winning combination. Now, to throw a little maybe out there, there's a young lass called Katie Hand who raced in the R3 Blue CRU Championships. Now, I don't know if she's a regular, but she's been in that championship.
I've seen her name before. Has she been in? She might have been in like Junior Super Sport or something like that.
So there's a young rider who won British Talent Cup. It was either last year or the year before, but he's racing in like European Championships at the moment.
Casey O'Gorman.
That could be it, yeah.
Irish lad. Red Bull Rookies as well, I think. I think it's doing European Talent Cup and...
If he was to go to something like World Super Sport 300, he could maybe win it. But that depends where he wants to go, because he probably wants to go to Moto3 and then move up into Moto2 and try and go MotoGP. But if he was to go to World Super Sport 300, that's an avenue for a British Championship or a British champion.
I think he was at the was it Junior Super Stock this weekend. I think he stood in for someone. He got taken out in the warm-up lap, or he took somebody out. I can't remember now.
Oh yeah, I saw
that.
But
he's a good young rider.
Yeah.
But my sorry, have you finished your answer?
Yeah, well, ultimately I'm going to narrow it down. I think our best opportunity for a world champion, Sam Lowes. I
quite like that shout, actually. That is quite a good shout.
And that's like, I've given you a quite in-depth sort of...
Yes. I'm not going to go quite as in-depth. But I'm kind of with Ash that I think Johnny Ray is the favourite. but I don't think he will be winning another world championship. Perhaps Brad Ray, if he can improve and get settled into the class.
I can't see.
Well, no,
Brad
not
Ray.
at the minute because he's new to the class. But once he's got his feet under the table and he's settled in, I think he could be towards the front. You're both shaking your head at me. At least let him prove himself. But I'm going to say, I think our next world champion, and this is going out on quite a bold claim.
Very bold.
I think it could be Johnny Garnes in Moto3. Now, bear in mind, he's only like 14. I think he's got to be at least 17 or 18 now to get into Moto3, so it's not going to be for another 5 or 6 years.
How is he getting on with his recovery? I haven't read anything about that.
I know he's been at the races and stuff. He's been...
And he was holding the brolly, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's recovering, but I don't think he's back on a bike yet.
But I'm not saying Johnny Garnes doesn't have the potential to win the Moto3, but your follow-on question is, who do you think will be the next? Not who will win, who do you think will be the next?
I think he'll be the next. I don't think we'll have a British world champion before then. In the next 5 or 6 years.
I think our best opportunity with the British Talent Cup, I think our best opportunity for a world champion in these levels is World Supersport 300 before MotoGP.
Yeah, but all we've got is Fenton Seabright in that.
Yeah, now, but we've got like Malmsey and Belford and
if one of them could get into that, yeah, I suppose.
But they all, again, they all want to go to Moto3. That's where they want to go. You speak. Let's say you speak. The pundits speak to them. You know, they interview them, and they all say the same thing. They want to go to MotoGP. Of course they do. Of course that's what they want.
Yes.
They want the biggest and best. If you said to them now, "Oh, you can go to the World Supersport 300," they would probably sunk their shoulders and be like, "Oh, want to go to Moto3?"
Yes.
I like that shout though, Johnny Garnes. Actually, that's quite cool.
Yeah, I quite like Sam's shout of Sam Lowe's.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it depends.
But I just.
It's just
but
because
then Jake Dixon could win this year.
Yeah, he could.
He could.
He still could win this year. He needs to. Jake Dixon needs to come out in Austria, and he needs to win.
Yeah.
And I don't mean
he needs to smash it.
I don't mean he needs to win to claw back points, because obviously if he wins, he will gain points
for his head.
He needs to come out and win and just, prove that Silverstone was the anomaly.
Yes.
He needs to prove that the 3 rounds prior to the summer break wasn't a fluke or flukes, plural. He needs to prove that Silverstone was the anomaly. It was raining. There was pressure. He needs that. He needs to come out and win in Austria. If Jake Dixon comes out and wins in Austria, that's the halfway point. There's still another 10 rounds to go. That's the halfway point. If he comes out and wins in Austria, wins, I don't mean comes third or second. If he comes out and wins in Austria, he can then stand on the podium, top of the podium, and he can say, "I'm a title contender. Silverstone was a blip. I lost my head a little bit. Apologies for that. I'm back. I'm coming for you."
Unless Darren Binder's behind him.
Yeah. But yeah, he needs to win at Austria, I think.
Yeah, I think he needs to.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first one to tell you that if he wins at Austria, I've just said that I don't think he'll win the championship this year because I think his head's gone. But if he comes out and wins in Austria, I'll change my mind on that, because we're allowed to change your mind.
Yes.
You're allowed to change.
You say this every podcast. We're allowed to change our mind.
You are allowed to change your mind. If somebody asks you if you want a cup of tea and you say yes, I want a cup of tea, and then you bring you a cup of tea, you're allowed to say, actually, you know what, I've changed my mind, I don't want a cup of tea. I'm not drinking that.
Well, that's
tea.
a dick move. You drink that fucking cup of tea.
No, anyway. Come into my house, I'm just like, kettle's boiled, tea there if you want it. There's right.
I have to ask Chippy to make me a cup of tea when I go around.
You don't go into a friend's house and ask them to make tea. You just start making tea.
No, because if I did that, he would have a fit.
I wouldn't have a fit. I keep my eye on you.
If I went and start... if I started moving your kettle about.
Why do you need to move the kettle about? You only fill it with
why
water.
Why would you move the kettle? You would just lift the kettle, put water in it,
fill
and
it with
set
water.
it back down.
Yeah.
Fill it with water, you know.
So you put it back down.
And then he'd be like, "Oh, you
haven't."
I shit you not. He weighed my cup of tea once.
I don't know. I weigh the milk that goes in it because that's force of habit. That's what I do.
To make sure that the calorie.
He weighed my cup of tea.
I weigh the milk and then I log it into my fitness pal. It stops me getting fat, Ash. You should try it.
Nah, I like being fat. It's good. Stay warmer.
Yeah, whenever we went back to Armoy, I took Jason back, who you guys know, and he just fit in so well back because he was staying at my mum's house basically. Stayed there, and at the start my mum was like, "There's not some posh English twat coming to stay here," and I was like, "No, he's not posh. He's not like them two guys in the podcast." And I was like, "No, he's not like them," because she thinks you sound posh. I was like, "No, he's not like them. There's just like, you know, he's proper down to earth." Hey, within 5 minutes he was just standing up making tea. Like, I was like, there was no like, "Can I make tea?" or none of that. He just basically just helped himself. He stood up, he was hooking through the covers, getting tea bags out. And I was like, yeah, my mum appreciate that. She hates people that just sit around and walk about in eggshells. "Please, can I make a cup of tea?"
That's what it's like round Chippy's.
Can you imagine me walking into Chippy's house and waiting and having to ask him to make tea? I'd be fucking making tea. That'll be it. I'd be making
I
tea.
don't think I could have you in my house.
I'd be very respectful of your house, Chippy. I'm a very good host, and I'm a very good.
And then within
what's
5
the opposite
minutes,
of
he would have one of your dining room chairs on his
Yes.
chin.
I would not leave my dog in the same room as you alone.
I don't need your dog with me. Jesus. I'm good with dogs. Dogs love me. Dogs genuinely like me, apart from Ash's dog because it's a dickhead.
Yeah,
apart
Ash's
from that,
dog is a
No,
dick.
it's not a
It is
dickhead.
Your dog.
No,
is
it's not a dickhead.
Your dog is the biggest dickhead dog I've ever met.
It's
No,
so miserable.
my dog is just anxious. He's an anxious dog. And when he has somebody like Sam come up and go, "Alright, big man, yeah," and fucking like get in his face and fucking rough him up, yeah, he's going to growl at you because you just fucking shouted at him.
That's what I do with all dogs, and he's the majority.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like
he's
it.
the
But he went to
minority
bite
of-
my dog. He went to bite my dog because he wanted to play. And he bit him
Yeah, he
because he's
doesn't like your
miserable.
dog.
He
He's
growled
got in
at
his
my
face.
dog. He growled at my dog every time he seen
Bite him.
He growled at my dog every time we seen my dog. I can remember once we were out walking and there was a dog walking on the other side of the street and your dog started going mad and growling and barking.
Nah.
And,
He
and
does.
you were like, oh, I've never done that before. And I was like, your dog does that all the time because your dog is spoiled rotten. Your dog is spoiled. Remember that time you were out walking and there was one little thorn and you picked your dog up and walked him for about 100 metres carrying him. You carried,
off.
yeah, you did.
That is
You
such a
carried
lie.
your dog for like 100 metres.
That is the
I was
biggest.
like-
Anybody listening, and they're not listening at this point,
I was like,
this
look
is
at
the
the
biggest
state of
fucking
you.
lie ever.
Tell me you didn't pick your dog
That
up.
is a
You
lie.
didn't pick your dog up and carry him.
No,
Yes, you did.
no, I
I've
didn't.
seen you do
I
it
lifted
before.
up his paw. I've lifted up his paw,
No,
and I took
you
the ouchie out of his
you
paw.
left at your dog and you were like, "There's thorns here," and you shit yourself. You left at your dog and you
Nah.
carried him for about 100 meters. And I was
Anybody
like,
listening to this,
That
this is all
Ash,
lies.
This is not a lie. This is so true. This is so true.
Nah.
And you're in
That did
denial.
not happen.
You're in denial the way you treat that dog. You treat that dog better than you treat your children. You said that yourself.
No.
Yeah, you said that yourself.
No.
Ah, that's a cunt as well.
It's a
Such a
lies.
cunt of a dog. It's not even nice. It doesn't even like you.
No, it's not.
If
He's
you-
the best dog ever.
If something happened to you, that dog would eat you. Would eat you.
No, I wouldn't. Bloody fuck.
Should we get on to the predictions?
Yes, let's
Yeah.
do that. Enough about Ash's shit though.
My dog's the best in the world.
Right,
Yours is shit.
MotoGP Austria sprint race. Sam.
Hold on, let me find. So, for the sprint race, I have gone with Pecco Bagnaia.
Ash, you've changed yours. What was it before? It wasn't Bezecchi.
I don't know. No, it's Marco Bezzecchi. That's who
I
chose.
watched you change it earlier.
Well, you should have paid more attention then, shouldn't you? But my prediction is Marco Bezzecchi.
I think it's Jorge Martin. I'm sure it was.
Well, it wasn't, but
I've gone with Brad Binder.
Yeah, well, Brad Binder's good.
We'll see what Chippy's thinking is in the next one, right? So the MotoGP feature race. Ash, who have you gone with?
Bagnaia.
I thought about going with Bagnaia for the feature race, but then I changed my mind. 2.
And you went with...
Say the line,
Say
Sam.
the line, Sam. I went with Johan Zarco. It's going to win one. It's going to win one eventually. And Chippy, you've gone with?
Well, thing is, I had the first prediction on this, so I could have chosen anybody, and I went with Jack Miller.
So what Chippy has done basically is he's went, oh, it's in Austria. KTM are from Austria, therefore KTM are going to win both races.
Yeah, but
that's what he's
Brad
done.
Binder's won round there. Jack Miller always goes well round there. They're on KTMs.
Yeah.
It's written in the stars. They're going to win.
Okay, is it going to rain?
I don't know, actually. I haven't checked.
Well, if it doesn't rain, then Jack Miller's not going to win. He says. Jack Miller fan. I would love Jack Miller to win. I like
just because he could outdrink you.
Right, Moto 2. Sam.
I have gone for Aaron Canet.
I really want him to win one.
I do as well. He's always second.
I know, I really want him to win one. I hope he does.
Chippy, who have you gone with?
Chippy.
I've gone with Jake Dixon.
Big shout that after last week.
Yeah, I think he's going to bounce back if he's got the right mental state.
Do you think has he got over it yet?
I don't know.
Do you think Ash, who have you picked first before we go into this? Because I'll probably talk shite for 5 minutes.
I've picked Pedro Acosta.
Good shout, to be honest. Nobody picked Arbolino. Do you think is Jack Dixon a week later? Do you think is he still getting up in the morning, brushing his teeth, looking at himself in the mirror and thinking, why the fuck did I say that? Do you think is he still doing that? Or do you think is he there brushing his teeth? I don't know. Do you think is he brushing his teeth going, I cannot believe that Darren Binder's not been banned for life. How dare he? Like, I know he's from South Africa, but I don't know what the DVLA is called in South Africa, so I'm going to call it the DVLA. He's there brushing his teeth thinking, how dare the DVLA not take his licence off him right now? How dare they?
No, I think he's probably thinking the first one. I think he's thinking, what an idiot.
Yeah. Why the fuck did I say that? It's like Jim Carrey,
because
whatever.
His missus would have spoke to him after that and said, that was fucking stupid. Guarantee you.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's what wives and missuses and girlfriends say to husbands and boyfriends constantly. No matter what you do, you're a fucking idiot. Well, thanks for your support, love. Great. Thank you for that. You do something, you come home, you're a fucking idiot. Great. Cheers, love. Thanks for your support. If I do anything in life and come home and my wife tells me I did a good job, I know something's wrong. This is the point where I turn around and go, okay, how much did you spend? But she's a breadwinner in our house because I'm unemployed. I'm a bum.
You just sit around making podcasts all day.
I'm unemployed and I drink too much.
Chippy, Moto 3. Who have you got?
I went with Dennis Onchu for this one.
Yeah, he's good. He is good.
Who have you got?
He's on the KTM as well, isn't
he? Who have you gone for?
He is, but that's not the reason why I went for it.
Well, I would have gone with Sasaki, but you chose Sasaki. I
didn't ask you to tell the audience who I've gone with, or the listeners. Well, I asked who you've gone with.
Don't care.
So who have you gone with?
I've gone with David Alonso.
Okay, and I've gone with Sasaki. And if you'd have pulled your finger out your ass and actually got on the dog before me, you could have went with Sasaki. But once again, Ash leaves it all to the last minute because he's so busy.
Considering I'm the one that's updated the doc the past 2 fucking weeks in a row.
Actually, I updated this today.
Yeah.
Yes, I know you updated it. I meant said the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. You mean when?
Yeah.
You mean
I got my predictions.
You mean when you fucked it up? remember that when you fucked it up?
Don't matter. Still got my fucking predictions in first. I've been busy. That's why I didn't have time to do it.
He's always busy. I've never known anybody be so busy. You're never busy.
Yes, I'm sorry. Sorry, I was burying my grandmother, Chippy. Sorry about that. I'll just fuck that off, and I'll just put my predictions in while I'm fucking carrying the coffin in. You ought to take. Fuck me.
You mean it's any time during the service you couldn't have just got your phone out and done it?
No, I don't think I could have. I think that would have been a bit disrespectful, actually.
There's always some point.
Anyway, let's not go on to this because I'll end up fucking smashing my laptop to pieces. Yeah, so I would have picked Sasaki, but obviously you got there first. So
yes, and I do think he's
only because I usually pick Sasaki.
Yeah, I hope this is the week he wins, and I can brag.
I know you do.
I was right.
I hope he doesn't.
Sasaki
I hope
won.
he doesn't.
I'm glad I had faith in him all this time. I'm glad I put so much faith in him. Ash is
He's not going to win
for not picking him.
David Alonso is going to win.
I hope no KTM wins a race at all this week, so I can tell Chippy he's a loser for picking all KTMs.
But I'm still a winner
Obviously,
this week for saying O'Halloran would win and Charlie Nesbitt to get a podium.
We don't ask about who's going to get podiums.
Yeah.
Podiums isn't a thing.
Yeah, but I still what should call this game I win.
Oh, well, I think next week in MotoGP, regardless of who wins, I think Pecco Bagnaia will definitely get a podium. There, I said it. Pecco Bagnaia gets a podium.
Yeah, but that's obvious.
Big bellies. Yeah, it's obvious. Well done for picking.
Thanks,
Charlie
Sam.
Nesbitt. Should we also say in the podcast that you basically said he wasn't going to get a podium in race 3?
I didn't think he was going to get a podium in race 3.
Not only did you not think he was going,
I did.
You were quite forceful about the fact that he wasn't going to get a podium in race 3.
I just didn't think he was going to get. I thought everybody else would have caught up. They'd have changed the settings and they'd have made more progression and finished ahead of him. But I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was very good. It's nice to see young rookies doing well.
Yes,
it's nice to see
young
the
British rookies.
Yeah, British Superbikes are going to get that. But it's nice to see young riders, the riders of the future, the riders of tomorrow. Even though you look at Charlie Nesbitt, and this isn't to be disrespectful to him or to Cook or to riders of their standard, where do you see them going in the future? Do you think is British Superbike the ceiling, or do you think they've got World Superbikes to go to? Or
I'm pretty sure Charlie Nesbitt has done world level. I'm pretty sure he did like Red Bull Rookies, something else. I'd like to see him go back to world level. Maybe World Super
Charlie,
or
Charlie
even World
Nesbitt.
Superbike at one point, yeah. Max Cook, I think, could go far as well.
But do you think are they going there with the opportunity to actually compete, or do you think are they just going there to make up numbers?
I don't know. I think they'd be more going there possibly to just make up numbers. But I'd like to think they can win.
Obviously, it's really good if somebody says to you, "Do you want a seat in the world level?" You'll be like, "Yes, of course I do. Brilliant, class." At least I can look back at my career and say, I was there and I fucking did it.
Yes.
True lies. Little movie Easter egg, True Lies. Jamie Lee Curtis. Wow. I've got a good question for next week, but I'll leave it for next week. I was very tempted just to ask it there now. But it's not the sort of...
No, let's leave it for next week.
Ash wants to go to bed.
It's not the sort of question I can just throw out there and expect to get an answer. It needs to be rehearsed. It needs to be properly looked into. I think Ash might be able to answer the question a lot better off the cuff than what you would, Chippy.
Just send it in the group chat now and I'll see if I can...
I'll put it in there in a day or two.
Okay.
I'll put it in the group chat tonight, and you can think about it. You can have all week. Chippy, you might need a week to look at it. It's that sort of question.
Okay.
It's a good question. It's the Sam sort of question.
It could be anything sort of question then. Yeah.
Being that I do like to talk a lot of shite.
You really do.
I don't like this just a standard sort of black and white question. There's to be a little bit of spice to it. And anybody else that's listening, if you are still listening to the podcast, you
almost
can send
certainly
us your
not.
questions. Almost certainly not, absolutely. But you can send us your own questions. That's easy to do, and it can be about anything. It can be bike related, and whenever I mean bike related, I mean the spectrum can be wild. Anything at all to do with bikes. It doesn't need to be about motorbike racing. We'll happily answer anything. If you've listened to this whole show, you'll understand that we just talk shit, basically, and occasionally talk about motorcycle racing. Get involved with the Who Am I. Talk about anything you want to, really. Send us any feedback on how you think the show went, what we can improve, what we did badly, what we did well. And in order to do that, you need to get in touch with us. And Ash will run you through our socials.
Yeah, so you can email us at podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. We're on YouTube, just search the Big Bad Bike Show. Do not forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. We are on X at the Big Bad BS.
Or Twitter for most people who give a fuck.
Instagram, the Big Bad Bike Show. And we also have a Facebook group, the Big Bad Bike Show. That's a Facebook page. We have a group which is just called Big Bad BS. That one is our most popular one. If you want to get in touch with us direct, you got Sam's Twitter or X at the Big Bad Biker, my Instagram, the Up North Biker, and Chippy's Twitter or X at MotoGP.
Here's a question for you. Has Threads died? Does anybody use it anymore? It lasted for
I don't really. The thing that put me off it was it just brought up loads of random stuff. It wasn't the stuff I was following. It was just random stuff that I wasn't interested in.
Yeah. In the beginning, it was really good because you followed all this stuff and that was all you got. And then one day I logged on and there was just loads of shit on there that I didn't know about.
Yeah, I think it's died slightly.
But then I didn't like Twitter either, so...
No, but I think the way Twitter you can hashtag stuff is really good because then it can start a trend. But in Threads, it's just you at stuff. Anyway, that's just talking shit. Yes. That has led us to the end of the show. These other two lazy cunts want to go to sleep. You can't see them, but I can. They're just... Ash gets his head in his hands pretty much. Chippy's lying down. I'm the only professional one. 5 beers in, still going. So, there's nothing else to say but give you the goodbye. So, Ash,
Toodle pip,
Chippy,
goodbye.
This has been the Big Bad Bike Show. Goodbye.
I don't think that one was too bad.